your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Adam and Grace finally made it to retirement. They decided this was their time. They drove in from Herkimer to Mattress Express in New Hartford on Commercial Drive in the Hannaford Plaza next to Red Lobster. They wanted to see the number bed they'd heard so much about. Adam had a bad back. He liked his side firm. We elevated his head, his feet, put the massage on medium. He said he hadn't felt that comfort in years. Grace liked her side softer. She was a 24. She had her head elevated slightly less, her feet a little higher, and the massage on high. They were thrilled to find out it had a 25-year industry-leading warranty. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, so they didn't have to wait for their tax return. For their luxury reward, they chose a 65-inch flat-screen TV. They laid on the Purple and the Puffy, the big online brands while they were there, but the number bed was for them. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS or go to mattressexpressny.com or visit any store.
It's truck season. Are you in the market for a powerful, reliable truck? Check out the 2023 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 4x4 All-Star Edition at Steve Ponte Chevrolet. With Silverado's robust engine and four-wheel drive capabilities, this truck is built to conquer anything. Right now, take advantage of some incredible incentives. You'll find new roads and save when you get 0% financing for 36 months. Or take advantage of up to $5,250 in total value savings. Is leasing more your style? Get a 3-year, 30,000-mile lease for $487 a month. See why it's always easy to do business at Steve Ponte Chevrolet in Herkimer. Stock number 23098. Purchase must have 2009 or newer Chevrolet in household. $3,750 total rebate plus $1,500 engine credit. Lease offer must have current lease in household. Mileage penalty of 25 cents per mile over 30,000 miles. Offers must qualify top tier through GM Financial. All taxes and fees due on delivery plus $1,000 in first payment due on lease. Must take delivery by 5/1/2023.
It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's chilly, and things are going to warm up later in the week. Maybe by Thursday or so. We'll inch up into maybe the 60s. So, not bad. All right, we have a lot to get to here today. The Bruce Karam thing. That lawsuit was thrown out by Supreme Court Judge Del Conte. We'll talk about that. We spoke with Bruce's attorney. Do you know how to pronounce his attorney's name? Sometimes I get it. Sometimes I get it wrong. Facciapane. That's exactly right. That's right, Jeff. Very good memory. You're good at that stuff. Did you umpire last night?
No, tonight.
Ah, big night tonight.
Matter of fact, I'll be, if my schedule in my mind is correct, I'll be umpiring with an attorney, but not Mr. Fetchaponte.
Okay. That's got to be something as an attorney, being an umpire. Because as an attorney, you really want to be the judge. And then you finally get to be, right? You're finally the judge. It's like, I don't care. This is how it's going to be. My decision. We mentioned some football action. Aaron Rodgers. We said it had to be done by the end of the week, and here we go. It's finally done. What do you think, this time next year, what will we be saying about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets?
Oh, boy. They might make the playoffs, but I don't know. I mean, people are talking about this might be their chance to run to the Super Bowl. Like
this
when
could
Brady
also-
went to Tampa Bay, and all of a sudden they announced they were getting Gronk too.
This could also be a debacle.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
Jets.
Yeah.
It's the Jets.
This could be so good, and at the same time, this could be so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what an opportunity, though, for Aaron Rodgers, right?
It is. You know what I think of, and it's funny. I'm sorry you say this, that this could be so good but so bad. I think the lingering thought is this could be so bad. It almost reminded me of when Bill Belichick took the Jets head coaching job for like 7 minutes and then held a press conference and said, turns out I'm out of here. Don't want to do this.
Yeah.
I almost felt like Rodgers was going, yeah, we're going to the Jets if nothing else works out.
Well, and here he is. I think you're right. I almost feel like the thought was maybe something else could come together, and I wouldn't have to go there, but there he will be in the Big Apple. Well, in New Jersey, he'll be in New Jersey. Let's not forget that. Speaking of New Jersey, if you're the Jersey Devils playing with the Rangers, you're at home, right? It's like being at home, and when the Rangers play against the Devils, it's like being at home. So there is no real home ice advantage there. And how about the Devils have come back to tie things up?
Yeah, 2-2 now in the series. And the kid who played for the Comets some this year, I just had his page up when I closed it out.
Is he the goalie?
Yes, the goalie.
Yeah, he played the other night.
Yeah, so.
What do you think, Davey? Who comes away with that series?
Even though I'm an Islanders fan, I'm rooting for the Rangers.
You are? Okay. All right. I mentioned that the lawsuit, this is the Bruce Karam lawsuit. That is, so there are really two.
Schmidt was the kid, and he was in that last night. 22 out of 23 saves.
There were two petitions here. One by the school district, the other by Karam's attorney. So Karam's attorney wanted the whole case thrown out. Their case against him, basically what Karam's attorney wanted and Karam wanted was for Judge Del Conte to say you had no right, under open meetings law, you had no right to put him on paid leave, that you violated his rights. And then the district wanted to have Karam's suit thrown out. So the way this went down is Del Conte threw out Karam's case, saying that the district, when it comes to protecting employees from things like harassment or an unsafe or hostile work environment, the district followed the rules and had every right to do what they did. Now, speaking with Karam's attorney, he said, and I'll quote here, "Open meetings law, a statute designed to ensure transparency and prevent officials from shielding themselves from public scrutiny, and having to do with the fact that he wants this court to review." I'm sorry, I'm reading Del Conte's judgment. Here's Fetchaponte's. The Article 78 proceeding did not pertain to Mr. Karam's claim in tort, which are presently before the Northern District of New York. So this decision does not affect Karam's federal case. But it's another loss. It's another loss for Karam, right?
Yeah.
So,
Look, again, I'm not a lawyer. But interestingly, anytime there's an issue to be discussed, there are always two lawyers, and they're both on 180 degrees on opposite sides.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe I'm not that far off. It just seems to me that it would be more likely and more damaging for the district to ignore the allegations and not require an investigation or request an investigation. I mean, is it simply because there's an investigation that his rights have been violated? Well, what about everybody else's rights?
You're right. I think the judge was absolutely correct here. I mean, so what he's saying is I think there were 7 different petitions filed, and Del County favored the district in each and every one of them. And that included breach of contract. So his contract was violated. In all cases, even Del County said there is the possibility of a breach of contract. But then that could be done by either party, but it needs to be played out in a court of law. So very interesting, and the siding is once again though is against Karam. So this whole thing continues on as the investigation moves forward. We heard audio. The question is, based on his contract, is that audio, which was despicable? There's no doubt about that audio was despicable. But does that qualify, based on his contract, a dismissal of Bruce Karam? There are a lot of questions there.
Yes.
I don't know the
And
answer.
I don't know.
The answer to that. As long as we're continuing with the issue of the, is there somebody in the hallway?
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, what the? Oh my God! I don't even know what I just saw.
Neither do I.
It's blowing my mind. Wow. We'll talk about it. Holy cow!
Was it gone?
Yeah.
No way.
Wow. I also received, and I'm trying to figure out how we move forward on this. I also received a release from Howard Potter over the weekend that we didn't get into yesterday. And you know the woman who's running for, that she is running for Board of Education in Utica, Sue Arcuri. Now, you're familiar with Sue Arcuri.
When you said, do you know the name, I was like, you didn't forget it, did you?
No,
You didn't forget
but
the
you
name.
know that, I mean, she's blasted me, said terrible things about me in her blog. She has a blog. It's called Filth by Sue or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Despicable writings by this woman. And she does seem to be siding with Bruce Karam, completely siding with Karam. If I'm Karam, I would be like, go over there. Don't side with me. Anyway, Sue Arcuri is running for school board, and I received a press release from from Howard Potter, who says that this was sent to him anonymously. There's a lot of anonymous going on with the Utica School District. So, and it states now, and I was able to get a hold of an arrest or a conviction report, I guess it would be. And there is a Sue Arcuri in Herkimer County who was convicted of selling drugs in 2018.
Oh, wow, that recent?
Yeah, I knew there was a case from years ago. I didn't know there was something so recent. I'll see if I can pull that up in a second. But it says here, Utica City School Board candidate Susan Arcuri was convicted of selling controlled substances. Now, the question is this another Sue Arcuri? Arcuri's a pretty common name.
And so is Sue.
And Sue is very common.
There was even a boy named Sue, wasn't there?
Yes. I believe. And I can't even believe that this would be possible. But according to this report, we're going to get into it coming up because I'd like to talk to Sue. Can we get her on? And I'd like her to say, if she's being charged here improperly or defamed improperly, boy, we all should be able to talk about that. That would be horrible. However, if she was convicted of selling drugs just 5 years ago, I think that would be relevant in the school board case, right? Don't you think? I think it would be.
Yes, I'm.
So we're digging in. We're going to try to get her. We'll talk more about that this morning. Oh, this is a good one. People are revealing the world's most thankless jobs. And it's probably going to make you appreciate your job, which is most likely 9 to 5. I don't want to say most likely. Maybe you don't work 9 to 5, but maybe you look at your job like, man, this is one of the most thankless jobs. We have a list of the worst. We'll get into that coming up. Trooper Dave Olney is on today. They used a drone in Herkimer County recently to save a woman's life. Plus, we wanted to talk to Dave about speed cameras, especially at construction sites. Here's the issue that I have on this. If you're going through a construction site and you're speeding, there could be a camera out there. You don't see anyone there, and you could be mailed a really, really bad ticket. But Manaski, here is the question. What if it's one of those non-working construction sites? It's Sunday, nobody's working, there are a few signs up, traffic's flying through there. Is the camera still working when there isn't construction going on? That's a very good question.
I can never see. I'm always going too fast. I can never see the fine print on the sign, but I don't believe it says that the speed limit is reduced unless it's Sunday or after hours or as long as you don't see a construction worker.
We have a doctor coming on to talk about this, but we'll also ask Dr. Hall about this here as well. Google, according to the health industry, Google is misinforming 40% of Americans about their health. And if you go back to the old episode, there's an old episode of the Brady Bunch. And the kid has the potential of one of Bobby, Greg, one of those kids had the potential of having a sickness. And they looked up in a medical book, but the two pages were stuck together. And when they looked at the definition of what they had, it was terminal. It was terrible. But it turns out they skipped a page. Do you remember? Do you ever watch the Brady Bunch, Mr. Intern?
I've seen episodes here and there, but I've never sat and watched it.
All right, I knew that you wouldn't know because you're way too young. However, Davey's an old soul. Remember that episode, Davey?
I remember watching the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, sure you do.
I still watch it on Sundays.
He's
on
still,
TV
it's
from
on
noon to 2.
Me TV from noon to 2. All right, very nice. Katie Aiello was also on, involving the Complete Streets and her candidacy. We have a loaded program today. All right, I'm going to have you move down to that seat. Davey, bring him in. This is, if I saw what I think I saw walk through our hallway.
Yeah, I thought I saw that too.
I'm blanking shocked. And he said this would blow my mind. And now I feel like he has.
Yeah, so
we're waiting for him to come in the studio. What are you doing, Davey? Trying to find him. Where'd he go? I don't know. We have someone in the building.
He's not the
He said to me yesterday, I had a terrible health problem. You're not going to believe what happened to me. I'm back home. I want to come in and talk about it. And we brought him into the green room, and now he's missing. Here he comes.
Holy cow.
I can't look, but come in. He's riding a little bike here. And if you're watching TV, you see him coming in.
Oh, my God.
On a bike.
Dude, what?
Steve Cully is making his way in. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
What in the world is going on here?
Well,
how did that?
Steve Cully, by the way, I just want to give you a little bit of a background. Steve was.
How are you, sir?
We'll let him get into his background a little bit. But Steve used to be an intern of mine years ago. He was a coach at New Hartford. Ultimately, you coached football where? You played football.
I did.
In NFL Europe.
Yes.
You coached where?
Holy Cross.
Holy Cross, so Division I. And you're still smoking, I can tell. You smell like a pack of cigarettes.
Thank you. My father will be thrilled to hear that.
Yeah, all right.
Pull that down just a little bit.
Tilt
So what?
Steve, have you lost part of your leg?
I have actually. Yes, I have.
What in the world just happened here?
Yeah. I definitely went through a bad stretch and got myself into a little trouble.
Yeah, was your bad stretch, and did it involve your previous issue or something new?
Oh, something new.
Okay.
Something new.
So you've not fallen off the wagon?
No, I've not fallen off the wagon.
Without getting into everything, Steve is one of the many cases in America where people, you injure yourself, you go on opioids, and all of a sudden become addicted. They pull them from you, and you go to street drugs.
Yes, very much so.
You lost everything.
I
You
did.
lost your coaching job. And you're on recovery. You've been in the middle of a great recovery and turning things around in your life. So you were working out in Albany, and as a matter of fact, working in media out in Albany.
Yes.
And I hear from you every once in a while. And 2 days ago, you said, I'm going to come in. You're not going to believe I had a health situation. You're not going to believe this. It's going to blow your mind. And it has just blown my mind. You've lost part of your limb.
I think I do that every time I come in. I blow your mind.
Yeah.
Well, let's limit your appearances then, because you only have so many.
Right?
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, so things were going great. I had been working at Albany Broadcasting. I had a girlfriend. I was doing a podcast, and
I heard your podcast. I listened to your podcast one time all the way to New York City.
Yes,
it was a long podcast.
It's amazing. The podcast is the best. And I kind of just lost everything at once. I lost my girlfriend Kelly.
Oh no.
I had been living with her. My podcast host, I lost him because of a situation, and it was such.
What was the situation? I mean, just
the situation was.
Did you guys fight? Did you?
It was an outside situation where other influences made things difficult.
So there was another female.
No. I wish no.
Okay.
Nothing like that.
All right. Well, I hate these vague things because it makes me. I'm always thinking of worse things than what really happened.
I had someone who I had been good friends with that I wasn't there for, who needed help.
Okay. All right.
They were resentful because I wasn't there.
I see.
They were jealous because I had been happy and I had a great job. And they saw that I had an offer from Town Square. And they set out to ruin that. They were using burner phones to send text messages to my ex-girlfriend, to my podcast partner. And
I see.
They thought
they all knew about your history, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought that it was coming from me.
Okay.
Because I was the only one that had their numbers.
Right. Okay.
These people kind of hacked my cloud, got all my contacts, my information. So this caused a major problem. The family kind of found out that I was an addict. It was something that
they did not know about the addict.
No. I had told her. I had not told the family.
I see.
They were not happy with that.
So this continues to haunt you. This whole thing continues to haunt you.
Well, it broke me.
Okay.
I lost her. I had to move out. I lost him, and I kind of had to do the podcast on my own. And I had started this great job at Town Square.
I know you were doing really well.
And unfortunately, I just stopped caring. I didn't care about my health. My only focus was on trying to make amends, trying to fix the situation, and it was completely out of my control.
How did you not turn back to drugs?
I would say I tried. I definitely, I was at a low point where
It was going bad. So things were, no matter what, it was going down a bad road.
Yeah, it was, and we'll talk about it. I actually got in touch, and I met a friend named Kim who was in Fort Plain, and Kim and I started hanging out, and she was very supportive of me. She was very helpful with me, and she kind of was that bridge that kept me from going out and using.
Okay.
Now, I definitely
Was she a former addict?
Yeah,
Okay.
she had.
So she was your what do they call it? Your like a sponsor to you.
Yeah, she was.
almost.
She was a new friend that I met, and she was very supportive. She spent time with me. She checked in with me. She wanted to help me, and
Okay.
that
All right.
kept me from it.
All right. So if you're just getting in your car or what have you, Steve Colley, former intern, became a friend over the years, no doubt about it. Played NFL Europe, was coaching for Holy Cross, coached in New Hartford, had an injury which led to something really, really bad, went down the horrible rabbit hole of ultimately addiction.
Yeah.
And but had really turned things around.
Yeah, and Kim was a big help.
Okay.
She was.
So
there
you
for me.
lost everything.
Yeah. So I was.
And you know, can I just say that it's hard because when you have a history of addiction and you tell a story about how that wasn't me, there was a burner phone, it becomes very easy for people close to you to say, I don't believe that. And that's what
yes.
happened to you.
Yes, and
They didn't believe you.
People didn't believe me,
Yeah.
and they thought that it was me, causing trouble, and because of my past, they thought I was they thought I was stirring things up, and there's no way to prove your innocence, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And the more I tried, the worse things really got.
Yeah.
And like I said, I stopped caring. The only person that cared was Kim. She tried to keep me on the straight and narrow. She spent time with me. I was living alone because I had gotten kicked out. I was living at a Quality Inn.
Did you lose your job at by that point?
No.
You did not lose your job.
No. Town Square. I was doing great with
Yeah,
Town Square,
okay.
but I was working with Town Square, and I was going home to a hotel.
Town Square, Albany.
Town Square in Albany.
Yeah.
And they were great with me, but I was going home to a hotel, a Quality Inn, by myself.
Wow.
And
does anyone know at this point? Do your parents know?
No, they don't. They don't know how bad things
Yeah.
are getting.
They know now.
They know that they knew that everything happened with my girlfriend. They knew that everything happened with my podcast partner.
Yeah.
My podcast partner was very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
He called my father because they thought something was wrong with me. They Steve has gone off the reservation.
Yeah.
I think something's going on with him.
Well, it's and it's easy for people to come to that conclusion, knowing
Absolutely.
right.
Absolutely, and I don't blame them for that
And
one
the fact
bit.
that they clearly cared enough to be able to try to step in and help. So, all right, you just came in here on one of those little bikes.
I'm going to explain.
You lost a part of your leg, it looks like.
From the knee down.
Yes, basically. So,
man.
For probably 6 weeks, I just stopped caring. I didn't take care of my health. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. I've lost about 30 pounds because it broke me, losing those people and not being able to prove myself. My health deteriorated, and I knew it was happening.
Yeah.
I knew it was happening. So,
well, when you're in a tailspin, it's sometimes very hard to
yes,
stop the tailspin.
Yes, absolutely. And Kim tried to help me. Kim found rehab places for me to go. Kim,
did you check into a rehab place?
I didn't. Kim,
you didn't feel you needed it.
No, because you see yourself differently than everyone else sees you.
Do you
think you're fine.
Do you think you needed it? Looking back now,
I needed help. I needed help
Yeah.
because my mind was all over the place. I wasn't taking care of myself. I had these negative thoughts. I wasn't with a support group.
Yeah.
You think you can take it all on yourself. But I did it more because I felt everyone was against me.
Yeah.
I felt that nobody believed me. It was me against the world.
Yeah.
And the more I struggled, the more I made things worse.
Right.
So
your mind is not thinking straight.
But what I found out, I had an infection in my foot. Okay. It was bad. I knew it was bad. And the night before everything happened, I was with Kim, and she knew. We had dinner. I barely ate. She saw me that I was limping. I got immediately into a car accident leaving her house. I drove into a snowbank, directly into it. I had to get AAA to pull me out, okay? So I'm driving home from Fort Plain, I get into another accident.
Home back to Albany?
To New Hartford.
To New Hartford, okay.
I get into another accident. I slid off the road. I drove into a guardrail. And I was bad. She knew I was bad. I knew I was bad. By the grace of God, I was home for that weekend, okay? That Sunday, I stayed over. I would drive back to Albany on a Monday morning, okay? My parents found me that Monday morning upstairs, unresponsive. I was completely unresponsive. And I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
Okay. They finally got me up. They're like, we got to take you to the hospital. I didn't want to go to the hospital. I said, I'm fine. I'm going back to work. I tried to get up. I fell. They said, this is bad. You got to
At this point, they don't know what's going on.
No, they're very concerned.
Yeah.
But I am very uncooperative. Okay.
Right. Yes.
They have to call my uncle Jim, who's a big guy. They're like, we got to get Steve to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they called my brother. This is at 6 o'clock in the morning.
So at this point, they're seeing this as almost an intervention.
They're seeing this as a health scare.
Yeah.
As a health scare because I'm not myself. I'm delirious.
Yeah.
I'm not listening. I'm not responsive.
Are they fearing drugs?
Yeah.
At this point,
I think they did.
How would you not?
I think they did because where else would you go? I think that was
and the truth is that addicts do anything they can.
Master
they say
manipulators.
whatever. They manipulate. They lie. So the first thing anyone would think is that
because I was off.
You're off the wagon, and But meanwhile, so much more complex issues are happening.
Yes. And the only one who really knew was Kim, and she had tried to be supportive and tried to guide me in the right direction. I wasn't listening. I'm home. My parents are concerned. My uncle comes. My brother, I think, came. They threw me in the car, and they took me to the hospital. Okay? I was probably the most uncooperative patient in the history of St. E's. Okay?
Yeah.
They brought me in.
Probably not.
I don't know. They brought
I'm
me.
I'm sure you probably were very bad, but they've seen a lot over there.
They brought me in. Okay, I did not want IVs in me. I was swearing, throwing things at the nurses, the doctors, and
at this point they'll strap you down, right?
They did.
Yeah.
they had to restrain me, and I don't remember any of this. Okay. So they sedate me. They put me under. They say he has sepsis. He has sepsis like we've never seen.
Which is terrible and so difficult to treat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was from the infection in my foot.
God.
But it was spreading. It was spreading.
Sure, because it'll go right to it'll kill you. It'll go to your heart.
And I don't.
And your brain. It's already affecting your judgment.
It was. It was. And
it's in your bloodstream.
I didn't know, but the doctor had said probably for 6 weeks to a month, it affected your personality. It affected everything in your body.
Yeah.
It changes you as a person. And I felt it, but I didn't believe it, because you're so paranoid. You think everyone else is wrong. You're the one that's right.
Right.
So I was.
Well, I always think that way.
Yes, exactly. They sedate me. They put me under. They call my father at 5 a.m. and they're like, "Listen, this is emergent. This is bad. We have to amputate his foot."
Unbelievable.
We have to amputate his foot. So they do that.
It's right below the knee. It looks like, right?
Yeah. Initially, it wasn't. Initially, it was right below the ankle.
Okay.
I had to have the second surgery.
Oh my God.
So I wake up. I have no idea what's going on. I want to call the police. I'm like, I'm being held against my will.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the hospital. I say I want to be released. And they're like, listen, you have no idea what just happened to you.
Yeah.
The infection was spreading. They were afraid, like you just said, the amputation may have had to go above the knee.
Wow.
Which would have been a disaster. So
well, it's already a disaster, but it would have made it so much worse.
It was. Right. It would have made it so much worse. I was still
because they can do things with prosthetics, but when you lose the knee, it impedes you even further, and I'm assuming significantly.
Which I didn't know, which
Right.
you know because you're smarter than me.
Well, I don't really know. I'm just trying to piece things together. Steve Cully is from here, former intern. This is going on a while, so there are people joining in.
I apologize.
Them to know
It's
who
a
you.
long story.
I understand. I just want them to know who you are. He came in to tell a story, and it's a story
Just my
that's
path. Yeah.
blowing our mind. He former athlete,
Yep.
former coach,
Yep.
injury, the classic story of opioids and addiction. You beat that.
I did.
You'll never beat it. You're always
It's
gonna
always
fight
with
it.
you. It's
Yeah.
always with you. It's
Yeah.
always with you. I try to forget about it.
And had an episode that luckily did not lead to drugs, but left to a point where you were just giving up.
Yeah, I was. Like, those two people in my life were the most important.
Yeah.
And losing them both kind of at the same time, I was in shock.
Yeah.
And it broke me.
Well, it's happened to you before.
It has.
Yeah.
It has.
Yeah.
It has. And when you go through it, especially again, you didn't handle it right the first time.
Yeah,
You're going to handle it worse the second time.
Could you air conditioning? You're heating the studio up on us here with this story.
I'm sorry about that. I tend to do that.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you why. Why are you here? This is the second time you've come on to tell a story that's horrific.
I'm gonna get
and
into
it's
it,
blown
yeah.
our minds. Is this?
Wait, there's more?
Yeah, there's more. I just
There's more.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But first of all, just answer this: is this a when you come on and you talk to us? Is this a part of therapy for you?
No, it's a part of. I try to be completely honest now with my life.
Well, that's therapy.
I like sharing my experiences,
Yeah.
and because I think it could help somebody else.
I think that's therapy.
Yeah, then you're my therapist.
Okay.
Then you're my therapist.
Can I have a therapy question if I can? Just
please do.
interject
Please do.
one?
Are you seeing a therapist?
I am. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
Thank God.
I need a lot of help.
Did the sepsis or the infection have anything to do with the situation where you with the girlfriend and the podcast guy?
It didn't. No, the
And then
sepsis had been building.
How did you injure your foot that you got the infection? I hate to say this and
Yep.
bring this around, but
No, you're right.
I sliced my finger last week and I looked at it and it didn't look good. And I'm like freaking out, like I want to leave and go to the hospital at the moment because I don't want to lose my arm. I don't think it's
Well,
anything like that, but the story you just told has me
but
freaking out.
But it could lead to that, and you have your situation is you should have gotten stitches, man. I'm just telling you. I already told you. You should have gotten stitches.
Well, you're not a diabetic, so
And you're diabetic.
I'm a diabetic.
So how did you injure your foot that led to this infection? And
The foot injury initially was because of drugs. I had my left toe amputated. Okay, my left big toe. Now it never actually over the last.
So that happened. That happened before
in 2019.
Okay.
Correct. It never really healed properly. Okay, I was going for treatment. I was going for wound care, and I kind of gave up because it wasn't working. So I just left it to my own. Now it got worse, and it got worse.
Oh, you're
and it
killing
got
me.
worse.
Yeah.
And it got worse. Okay. I ignored it, and then
I'll get to him. I'll get to him as I see that he's there.
And then all that happened. All right, and I gave up. I get sepsis. Okay.
You've lost part of your leg.
They cut off
And
my
a
foot.
second injury, a second surgery that took even more of your leg.
The second surgery, they had to wait because of the sepsis. They treated me with IV antibiotics. Now I was in the hospital for a full month.
All of this has happened in the last couple of months.
This happened in March. That's why I had wanted
my
to come in.
God.
This happened in March. I was in for 4 weeks. IV antibiotics every day. They were coming to check the wound to see how the infection was. They're like, we want to do this second surgery.
How are they handling pain? You already have a problem with painkillers.
They were giving me painkillers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I didn't want to tell them that I was an addict because I wouldn't get a Tylenol. And my main concern was pain control.
Yeah,
And I thought that I could manage it. I
Okay.
didn't think it would be a problem afterwards. So the IV antibiotics, I'm there for a month. They're coming to check on me, checking the wound every day to see how the infection is.
Yeah.
They took me down for surgery twice. They took me back because they're like, we can't do it. The infection's still too bad. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. I was ready to I was ready to AMA, get in a wheelchair, or hop down Genesee Street because you're in a hospital for a month. You know, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You're in your own head. You're thinking about all these negative thoughts.
Yep.
So thankfully, things turned around. They kept me in the hospital, okay? And then they were able to do the second surgery, which was the amputation above the knee.
So it's above the knee now.
I mean, below the knee.
Below the knee, yeah.
They were able to do it to round it off.
So you'll be able to have movement as long as we can keep it like this.
Yes.
You'll be able to have movement of a prosthetic.
Correct.
That you'll have joint movement because of the knees still exists.
Correct. So
Okay.
I will have another surgery. Hopefully, it's scheduled for next Wednesday.
Did they do all this in Utica?
They
Wow.
did all this at St. E's.
Wow.
Okay. And again, like, I hate to say it, initially when I woke up, I kind of felt angry. I was
Yeah.
like, my God, I'm still here. Because it's such in a negative place. I was such in a bad mindset because of everything that happened. That was my only focus. I wasn't focused on my health. The doctor came in and he said, I'm going to tell you this straight up. It's a miracle you're alive.
Yeah.
I've never seen sepsis as bad as you've had it. Okay? I've never seen an infection as bad as you've had it.
Yeah.
You're lucky you just lost your foot. I know you don't want to be here, but I'm telling you right now, you should not be alive.
All right, stay there.
Yep.
And I got to break through all this.
I apologize. I hit you with a lot.
Yeah. Wow. By the way, the injury was the infection came because of an injury, or it was held over from when you were on drugs.
No, it was well after I was on drugs.
So it was an injury. You cut yourself, or what happened?
Yeah, it was an injury to my foot, and when you're a diabetic, it just never heals.
All right. Okay.
It just never heals, and I didn't take care of it.
All right, Davey, what we planned at 7:08. Let's bump that one. And we'll continue here. Wow. Steve Cully dropping a bomb on us here this morning. We'll talk more about it on the other side of news. Stand by. WIBX. It's 7 o'clock.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX 950 Utica, Rome, W295DI Utica, Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Let's finish the job. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden just tweeted that as he starts his run for re-election.
Every generation of Americans has faced a moment when they have to defend democracy.
And in his video announcing his 2024 campaign, the president took aim at what he calls MAGA extremists.
They're lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what health care decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love. All while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
Though just ahead of the Biden announcement, 70% of Americans in an NBC News poll said they don't want the president to run again. Many cited his age. At 80, he's already our oldest president. Now, President Biden's also under scrutiny over his son Hunter's business dealings, which he insists he has nothing to do with. But House Republicans disagree and are investigating and probing allegations of Biden administration interference in an IRS Hunter Biden tax investigation. Meanwhile,
Hunter Biden's lawyer is demanding the Treasury Department's Inspector General look into former President Trump aide Garrett Ziegler. Now, his team is accusing Ziegler of circulating Hunter's federal banking records, writing in a letter, quote, I request the Department of Treasury investigate how and with whom Ziegler acted or collaborated or conspired.
Fox's Brooks Singman. Former President Trump has yet another legal issue. Jury selection starts today in a federal civil trial. Author E. Jean Carroll suing him, accusing Trump of raping her at a New York City store decades ago and then defaming her last year, denying her allegations a hoax. The sound of guns and fighting can still be heard in Sudan, despite a 3-day ceasefire supposedly agreed to by warring generals battling for control of the country. After American diplomats were evacuated, thousands of U.S. citizens are still there, so...
The U.S. military is also setting up an international naval task force off the coast of Port Sudan to help assist foreigners and Americans trying to leave.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, you've heard me talk about Henry Repeating Arms and their incredible line of 200 rifles and shotguns. This company's owned by a family of true patriots who are so dedicated to our country that all of their products are made in America or they are not made at all. And they're also so loyal to their customers that they provide award-winning customer service. And by the way, they back their firearms with a lifetime warranty. Now, Henry makes a line of Tribute Edition rifles. You got to check these out. I love them. They honor the unsung heroes who serve our great nation, including active military, veterans, law enforcement, and sheriffs and firefighters and EMS, and so many more. Now, you can check them out for yourself. Go to their website, henryusa.com/tribute. And there's the Henry's Deluxe engraved limited edition rifles that are the crown jewels of any collection. Once an edition sells out, it's gone forever. Go to henryusa.com. You get a free catalog. You get free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and you're going to love these firearms.
We have cloudy skies, 35 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:03. This news update brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going. Well, state lawmakers still working to find a state budget plan. Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie saying that there are still other issues that need to be worked out, like a plan to address illegal sales of cannabis that is, and measures to address the environment. The legislature approved yet another budget extender yesterday to keep the government running through this Friday. Last year's budget was 9 days late. Right now, it is 25 days late and counting. Congressman Brandon Williams will be voting in support of a plan crafted by fellow Republicans that would raise the debt limit. The proposal calls for the debt limit to be increased by more than $1 trillion in exchange for deep spending cuts. The 22nd District Representative believes the plan is a good way to help prevent a government shutdown and address out-of-control spending in Washington. The House is expected to vote on that bill later this week. The acting chief of police in Ithaca taking a leave of absence from his job and also filing a lawsuit against the city. John Jolly tells the Ithaca Voice that he was pursuing legal action because he claims he was subjected to a hostile work environment. He cleared out his office last week. No timetable on when he might return to work. It's also not clear who will be leading the department in his absence. A Watervliet mother is scheduled to be sentenced today on an attempted murder charge after being accused of trying to kill her child. Prosecutors say Samantha Valentine threw her 10-month-old child across the room several times over the course of several days back in 2021. The boy suffered some bleeding in his brain but survived. Valentine was supposed to be sentenced this past Friday but did not show up for court. And music icon Willie Nelson will be making a return trip to Saratoga Performing Arts Center later this year. He'll be on stage at the popular concert venue as part of the Outlaw Music Festival Friday, September 15th. Nelson, who is now 89, will be joined by artists including the String Cheese Incident and Particle Kid. Tickets for the show go on sale this Friday at 10 through Live Nation. WIBX News Time 7:05. Your Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cliff's Local Market. They keep you going.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Partial sun to clouds, scattered pop-up showers, perhaps a few thunder showers, maybe some graupel or small hail, a high of 52. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Still a few rain or wet snow showers around, a low of 32. And still chilly tomorrow. Scattered rain, perhaps wet snow showers around into early afternoon and then tapering late day, high 51. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
Some clouds and 36 at 7:06. All right, checking sports. That deal for the Jets and Aaron Rodgers has finally been completed. Multiple reports say the Jets have finalized a deal with the Green Bay Packers. The Packers swap first-round picks with the Jets this year and also get a second-round and a sixth-rounder in the draft later this week. The Jets will get Rodgers, the Packers' first-round selection this year, and a third-round pick this year. Also, Green Bay would get a second-round pick from the Jets that could turn into a first-rounder depending on the amount of snaps that Rodgers plays in the upcoming season. NBA playoffs last night, the top seed in the East in danger. The 8th-seeded Miami Heat take a commanding 3-1 lead over the Bucks after a 119-114 final in Miami. Jimmy Butler had 56 points. Out west, the Lakers beat the Grizzlies 117-111 in overtime in Game 4. They now lead that series 3-1. LeBron James, 22 points and 20 rebounds. And the NBA playoffs continue today with the Celtics hosting the Hawks, the T-Wolves visiting the Nuggets, and the Suns playing host to the Clippers. Boston, Denver, and Phoenix all have 3-1 series leads and look to close things out in Game 5. The Knicks, meanwhile, they hold a 3-1 series lead. They'll be on the road for Game 5 tomorrow night in Cleveland. Quentin Grimes is expected to return to the lineup after missing Game 4 with a shoulder injury. Some baseball action. The Yankees dropped their series opener against the Twins 6-1. The Mets in a series opener against the Nationals coming up tonight. The Mets trying to snap their 2-game slide. They're now 14-9. The Nats last in the division at 7-14. Veteran right-hander Justin Verlander is likely to make a minor league rehab start coming up on Friday. And then a quick note, some hockey playoffs. Devils and Rangers now even at 2 games apiece. And the Islanders look to stay alive in the series. Game 5 tonight, they trail the Hurricanes 3-1.
A couple of things we haven't talked about as of yet is Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson both losing their jobs yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll get into that coming up. And let me just get to the rest of your story here. And Steve Cully is a former intern of ours, friend, who came in a while back with a shocking story after going on and coaching locally, high school football, then you played your own bout with NFL Europe. You went to UConn for college, right?
Bill, you know my career better than I do. It's
yeah.
impressive.
We folled him all the way to Buffalo. He tried out for the Bills.
That's right. He came there.
Didn't work out, but he ended up playing for NFL Europe. And then you had you had an injury which led to I'm speeding through this. Led to an opioid addiction. You lost everything, but you survived. You've rebounded and picked your life back up, but have had a recent setback that has led to, I didn't realize you were a diabetic, which you didn't take care of yourself.
Correct.
And has lost part of his leg from below the 2 operations below the knee. There's another operation coming. Hopefully they continue to save your knee. With all of that said, you're telling your story here this morning. Again, I asked you why you tell your story.
Yeah.
And I do think it has something to do with, in your mind, your therapy. I don't understand necessarily, but who are we to understand anyway?
Yeah. No,
so, okay.
you're right.
So you say there's more to this story.
Yes,
All
absolutely. Right. No, again,
So you've had Operation 1, Operation 2, you're out of the hospital. This is March of this year.
This is March of this year. And again, I really wanted to thank Kim. Kim was the only one that kept me going.
Kim is a female who
she was a friend of mine that I had just recently met
in
during
Fort Plain
during that terrible period.
Okay. And you believe that she saved your life?
Well, she knew that I was alone
Yeah.
at a Quality Inn working a new job. She would always check in on me. She would always spend time with me.
Okay.
And I think things could have developed a lot faster if it was not for her. And I am so grateful.
Could have gone badly.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
it had not been for her.
Yeah, and the doctor also said, had I not gone home that weekend, had I stayed in Albany, I probably would have been found by a housekeeper at 11 a.m. dead in a hotel room.
Yep.
So it was a miracle I survived, and having the second surgery, the biggest thing that I wanted to come on and talk about was my mindset, because I realize, again, it's a miracle I survived. I'm given a second chance, and not a lot of people get that.
Yeah.
And I get a chance to start over. And I realize I didn't always have the best attitude. I didn't always treat people right. I wasn't always grateful. I wasn't always appreciative, especially of my family. My father, every day for a month, was waiting at 9:45 a.m. because 10 a.m. was when visitors could come in. He came in every day at 10
This was at the
a.m.
hospital.
At the hospital.
Yeah.
Never thanked them, never appreciated it. You don't realize it. You just kind of, my parents have always been there for me. I just expected it.
Your parents probably, I would assume, don't necessarily love the fact that you're talking about this on the radio.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
But you know that. They hate that I do that. But,
yes. I don't know what I would have told you if you told me the story first. I might have said.
I didn't want to, yeah.
I might have said, I'm not sure I'd come back and tell the story.
Yeah,
but
of course.
But I understand, I guess, why you're doing it. And,
yeah. It's just
for you.
For being at the bottom, and you realize how grateful you are. My dad was there every day. My mom was there every day. My aunt and uncle came to see me every day. You really, I never truly appreciated my family. I think I took them for granted.
Well, remember, there are a lot of people out there that fall into situations like yours that don't have the support.
Exactly.
And that usually goes in a bad direction.
And I saw that.
Even worse.
And I saw people there who didn't have visitors.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always had visitors. I have my friends that came and visited me. You know, my friend Dominic came. My friend Matt came. My friend Annabelle came. I was never left alone.
Yeah.
And then there was a PA, Zach. He came. He was part of my surgery team. And he knew I wanted to leave. He knew every day I wanted to leave. He came for a month straight to check on me. He's like, Steve, you know, we're making progress. Don't give up on this. Don't leave.
And these are all that. He's an employee of MBHS.
He's yes, and he did that for me. And he said, "Listen, I'm going to pray for you." He's like, I don't know if you're spiritual, but I believe it helps in healing. I'm going to pray for you, and he did that for me. So seeing all these people that came together and all these people that care about you, you don't realize that because I was so focused on the negative, I didn't realize the positive. Having Kim come in, having Zach, having my friends, having my family. My mother came in every day at noon. She brought me food. She brought me berries. She wanted to make sure I was eating. I was out of it half the time, and I was never grateful for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, realizing I was given a second chance.
You're given a second chance.
Yeah, I mean, probably my one friend said that I am like a cat with 9 lives. I've used like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But this one, it's just words, but I realize that it's a huge wake up call.
Right.
It's a huge wake up call, and to appreciate the people in your life that care about you, that took the time to look after you, that love you, that want the best for you.
Yeah.
And I realize that, you know me, I can be a sarcastic jerk at times. I can have a negative attitude at times.
I don't really know that side of you, but you're very respectful of me.
I am, because you're my mentor.
Well, I appreciate that.
But I'm really trying to make the most of this because I didn't realize how lucky I am.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to come on. I wanted to thank the people like Kim. I wanted to thank Zach. I wanted to thank my family for everything they did for me because they didn't have to, and I didn't deserve it. With my behaviors, with my actions, with how I treated people, I did not deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't always treat my family the best.
Right.
I don't appreciate them. I love my brother, okay? I don't have the best relationship with my brother. My brother came in probably the 3rd day after I was conscious, and I was really negative.
Yeah.
I was bad to the nurses and doctors. My brother said, "Listen, you got to cut it out." He said, "You're better than this. You're tougher than this." He said, "Like you played in NFL Europe.
Yeah.
You need to have a better attitude."
Yeah.
He's like, "Stop wallowing. Stop feeling sorry for yourself, and let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get through this." Because it's not going to change. It's going to change your life, but it's not going to end your life.
Yeah.
It's something you have to work through. It's something that you have to overcome. It's adversity. You have overcome adversity your entire life. You can do this.
Yeah, and you can. And it is a work in progress. It's always a work in progress.
And my brother kept in touch with my friends.
Yeah.
My friends always went through him. And for Matt to do that, Matt came and saw me. And like I said, I didn't always treat him the best. I wasn't always close with him. He stepped up, and he really came to show that he cared, and he showed that he loved me. And again, I was never grateful for it.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of this entire story is just being grateful, being thankful for these people, because I haven't been.
Yeah.
And I want to be now. And that's why I wanted to come on and thank Kim. Kim has been awesome. Kim has looked after me. She was one of the first people I called because she didn't hear from me for a month.
How did you meet her?
We had just been talking online, and we connected, again, because I was new in Schenectady,
right.
And I was alone. And she was nice enough to hang out with me. She was nice enough to invite me over. We had dinner a few times, and she really went out of her way to be welcoming.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to do that.
I'm going to ask you, what do you have? This has changed the whole mood for us today.
I apologize for that.
No, don't be apologetic.
What do you mean, what do I have? I'm not topping that story.
No, I'm not asking you to top the story. God forbid.
But it's been the reason, again, I asked to come in. I can't get out of the house. You know, I have a wound vac that's on my leg. I took it off for coming here. I have visiting nurses that come.
What is that? Is that a...
It goes on the wound, and it kind of sucks the drainage out to try to close it.
Yeah.
They're trying to close it a little bit more before surgery.
Okay.
I have physical therapy.
Why did you take that off? It doesn't sound like you're supposed to take that off.
You're not supposed to take it off, but I didn't want to come in here with it. I didn't want to scare Bill with a wound vac on.
Well, you scared the daylights out of us with the
little
bike
wagon.
and
I can't drive. My father had to drop me off.
Okay.
It's been
and
very
he did
tough.
that even though he didn't necessarily want you to do this.
Not in a million years.
Yeah.
No.
Which is
I tried to get him to come on too, but
Yeah.
he didn't want to come on.
But I
he
understand.
He knew it was important to me to
Yeah.
tell this
Yeah.
and getting out of the house because I've been in the hospital for a month. I've been stuck in the house. And
It sounds like your family has just been.
My
Well,
family.
they've been your family. And you'd expect that from your family.
Yeah, you're lucky, man.
My family, there are going to be angels and saints in heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
I have put them through. I don't know what more I could put them through. I've put them through pure hell. I really have. I have not made their lives easy, and they've stuck by me every step of the way. And they, just the fact that they didn't give up on me.
Yeah.
They never gave up on me.
This is the second time that Steve has come in studio and dropped a bomb on us, and I was blown away by the first time you came in, and maybe as much, if not more so, this time. I'm not sure which is, but man, it's the only thing I would say is that, and I don't know how they speak to you in therapy and when all of that stuff happens. And
My
you talk to
therapist
people.
did not want me coming on either. She didn't think that was a good idea.
Probably not. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I do want people to know that I do want people to know that I did not find out about your story and coerce you to come on.
No, I
didn't know anything about this.
I want your genuine reaction.
Steve's got another story to tell. He's coming in. This is what I told you earlier. He's supposed to come in. I think he's coming in today. Had no clue, and yeah.
Well, the
one thing I wanted to tell you though is, and I don't know if they tell you this in therapy, but I think you have to be cautious of having this I've done A, B, and C, and now everything's going to be perfect.
You're right,
because that doesn't ever work out.
Right.
It's always a work in progress. You're always going to be working on this for the rest of your life, but that's okay because you're going to get through it and you're going to have friends and family to help you. And if they're not there, you're still going to be able to do it on your own.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You have to be able to do it.
Exactly.
But I think we set our sights like it's like, I've done this, now everything's going to be perfect.
You're right, and I did have that mindset.
Happily ever, yeah.
And that doesn't ever work out.
It doesn't ever happen, and I think that's what gets me into trouble.
All right, go ahead.
Just a couple things. I want to mention your family again, and I don't mean to indicate that I'm one of those people who's blessed and lucky as well, but not everybody has that. It's great that you realize how supportive and wonderful they sound. They seem to be.
I appreciate that.
When you said earlier that you don't usually heal all the way because was it the diabetes?
Correct, sir.
That's got to be concerning when they remove a limb.
Very concerning. Yes. The nurses come. I have to test my sugar 4 times a day.
That means you have to eat right. You have to.
Yeah, which I was not doing.
Yeah, but you can't.
But I think that's why I have been healing because, my parents have been on me. I don't get drinks past water. They know enough not to give me sugar. The nurses are here. We're really maintaining it. We're staying on top of it because the surgery is scheduled for Tuesday or Wednesday. I have to have that because I want to go back
What
to
are they
work.
doing with the surgery? They're going to close it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just going to be a minor skin graft surgery, and then
Okay.
I can get fitted for the prosthetic.
Stephen has been waiting for.
Go ahead.
For 25 minutes.
I'm sorry.
And you know him from New Hartford, Stephen. Stephen. What do you want to say, Stephen? You've been waiting. You called back. What do you want to say?
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Stephen. You're the man.
Thank you. Hi, Bill. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Stephen.
Good morning.
Now, you have my support, Steve, and I have your back, and I feel bad for you. I've had my problems as well, and I'll be there for you if you want.
Well, that's very nice of you.
Stephen, you always message me on Facebook. You always comment on Facebook. Yeah. I need all the support I can get because I can't do this alone. I appreciate that you called. I appreciate that you always reach out. thank you very much, and I will need you. I will need you. So be there.
All right, Stefan. Thank you, man.
And I'll give Davey my phone number for you if you want.
All right, I'll put you on hold. All right,
That'd be great.
all right,
nice,
we're going to get
Stefan.
back into states. Just hang for a second. I wanted to bring in Dr. Hall, Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS. I don't know if you've been hearing any of this talk. Good morning.
Good morning. I've heard a little bit. I admit I jumped on probably about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
All right, so diabetic, had a history of drug addiction, former athlete, played like elite athlete, played for NFL Europe, wound up as a diabetic, not taking care of himself in a very big low, a very deep low, and had an infection, turned into sepsis, ended up in St. E's, where he had the first operation, which took off part of his leg below the knee. The second operation took even more. It's still below the knee. He has another one where they will hopefully try to close it up at St. E's later in the week. But has told really good stories of people. By the way, bad stories of how you treated some of the nursing staff.
Very bad.
But there was one in particular, a PA there, that came back and checked on you on a regular basis. That didn't have to.
Correct.
But checked on him and did extra to keep him on the straight and narrow and keep his spirits up to the point where he was helping himself. I think that says a lot for the people who work at MVHS.
Yes. So first of all, I'm glad that it seems like things are going in a better direction for you now, Steve. And I certainly hope that you will, that you'll be able to get through this and get to a point where you can, get back to doing the things that you really like to do. It always warms my heart when I hear folks say how great the staff at the hospitals in the Mohawk Valley Health System have taken care of them and their loved ones, because, that is what we're about. We talk often about, the Wynn Hospital and, new technology and all that stuff. But the reality is that, care is provided by people. It's not provided by buildings or technology. And that is truly a testament to what we want to be. And, the Mohawk Valley Health System is a work in progress. We will admit that. But we are, we strive to take care of our community. And it sounds like we've done a pretty good job with you. And so I'm really glad that we were able to do that for you.
God.
Yeah, Dr. Sullivan did my surgery. He did an outstanding job, and his PA, Zach Arnold, was the one that, wouldn't let me leave, checked on me every day, made sure I was okay, and the nursing staff was there for me despite my erratic behavior. And again, they saved my life. Sepsis is deadly. They saved my life, and I'm very grateful for everything that you have there.
Doc, I wanted to just, if you could, just talk a little bit about diabetes, drug addiction. I'm throwing a lot at you here, and almost feeling the feeling of invincibility that we have, especially when younger, and then as you get older, you may not heal the way you used to be able to heal. You may, while you did not take care of yourself 20 years ago, it's 20 years later. It becomes even more important to eat right, to do all of the things that are important that sometimes we don't do. I gave you a lot there, but if you want to comment on it.
Yeah, so I think I would parse it out at least into two buckets. So the first is the diabetes bucket. So you're absolutely right. Diabetes is a disease, that sounds simple. Basically it's that because your pancreas isn't working properly, you're not able to regulate your blood sugar, and so your blood sugars, run very high. That's very simplistic. The effects of that are very widespread. But in what we're specifically talking about now, when you are a diabetic and the effects that it can have on your blood vessels actually causes causes decreased blood flow to areas, especially to what we call terminal blood vessels, which are like going out to your limbs, places like that. And that's why, you can get an infection, you can get a cut or something like that, and because there's decreased blood flow, it means that, and diabetes also, by the way, affects your immune system and decreases your ability to fight off infections. So not only are you hampered because you can't fight off infections well, you're also hampered because what infection fighting you have is hampered because the blood flow doesn't get there. And ultimately, that's why people end up with serious infections. They end up with, loss of limb, things like that. So that is I will tell you that is overly simplistic, but that is, some of the primary issues that cause problems with patients who have diabetes. Substance use disorder is an entirely different thing. It is a huge problem. It is not as some people will tell you. It is not that people just have to be strong and that their force of will allow them to overcome it. It is a disease that actually changes the chemistry in your brain, which ultimately causes the addiction that much more difficult to fight, and it is something that a lot of people struggle with. Steve, it sounds like you have, and it sounds like you're in a much better place with that. But it is not, I just have to be strong with this. It is truly that you have to address it every day.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And I just wanted to ask you a quick question about the diabetes. I am a type 2 diabetic, and my parents are on me to eat throughout the day. Being a type 2 diabetic, if I don't eat, is my sugar going to drop like a type 1? Because when I'm not hungry, they want me to eat. Is it something that I need to manage throughout the day to make sure that I'm eating because it's going to drop, or will it stay where it's at?
If I could just say, you should always listen to your parents. End of story. But go ahead, Doc. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Thank you. So you take medication to control your diet, to control your diabetes, to control your blood sugar. And if you're taking that medication and you're not eating, then your blood sugar will drop because the medication is going to force it down. So having a regular dietary regimen where you're eating on a regular basis, in conjunction with the medications that you're taking, is the way that you control your level of blood sugar.
Okay.
Doc, how would what he went through, I'm just trying to make all this work. I've been thrown a curveball here this morning. So how would what Steve went through, what he went through at MVHS at St. E's, how will that change at the new hospital? I think because I was there just recently, and I got to say, the best part of the place is the people. It is old. It is time. We're getting near that time where the change is going to happen. What will the change do for his experience at St. E's?
So I would say two things. Number one, first, whenever you're into a brighter environment, a cleaner environment. I mean, it's hard to keep 100-year-old buildings as clean as you want to. That just being in a nice environment kind of lifts everybody's spirits, makes them feel better. So I think from an environment standpoint, there is a lot to be said for that. On the other hand, the people are the people, and if you hear, Steve didn't talk about, the OR was great and the technology was wonderful. He was talking about his interactions with the people, with Dr. Sullivan and with Zach and with the nurses. That won't change because those people are going to move into the Wynn Hospital, and so there's a little bit of I don't know if you call it a dynamic tension or a little bit of a conundrum there, because yes, the environment is going to be better and people will notice that, but the people who are caring for you are going to be the same, and they will, I would say that the environment will actually make them feel better because they're working in a new place. But we are constantly working on how we take care of our community, how we can do better, and so I would say that moving into the win is a step in that direction, but it's not the panacea.
And then I just, based on Steve's conversation, obviously he's had a lot of complicating things that have occurred. But when talking about recovery from addiction, and, this is a classic story. Pain from an injury, not able to take any more painkillers to get rid of the pain. It went down a bad road, and now he's recovering from that. Talk about the recovery. You did a little bit about how it really does reprogram your mind, but staying committed to that recovery and reaching out when you need help, all of those things. What advice would you give to anybody?
So
anybody
I'll
going
be
through
honest
this?
with you. I think Steve could give better advice than I can, because a lot of it revolves around the support system that you have. Whether it's peer support, whether it's family support, whatever it is. That's really what keeps you going and what keeps you motivated. The changes I can tell you from a biochemical standpoint and from a physiology standpoint, that the changes that occur in somebody's brain, after they've become addicted to medication, whatever that medication is, they as you recover from it, as you abstain and you continue down that path, those changes reverse themselves somewhat, but never go back to the way that they were before. And so you are always prone to, your brain physiology is always prone to having you, go back down the path of substance use disorder. So that's why the external support, that's why whether it's peer support, somebody who's gone through the same thing, whether it's family support, friends, whoever, is so vital to actually keeping you on that same path.
Anything you have further there, Steve?
No, that makes a lot of sense, and that was something that I think I kind of gave up on. I didn't have a support group. I didn't believe in AA or the system. I started to think that, I knew what was best, and I don't have all the answers. And I was lucky enough near the end to have Kim there to be there for my support, because I was alone in a hotel at the Quality Inn, and she was there checking on me. And if it wasn't for her, I could have gone down that path again. Like you said, it's always in your mind, and it's always going to be in my mind, and I'm doing my best to have a support group. I have family that watches over me, and I hope that I can stay on the straight and narrow and avoid a relapse, and I appreciate the advice.
Doc, we appreciate your time. Thank you. I had a question about a new variant of COVID, but we'll save that for next week. That's gotten kind of an old story. But there's a new variant out there. They're watching.
Thanks, everybody. Please have a great day. And, Steve, congratulations.
All right. Thanks, Doc. Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS. Okay, you all right?
Yeah, no, it's just a little overwhelming talking about it all.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Okay, so we're going to break, and we're going to come back. You can hang if you'd like. You've said everything you want to say?
I have, thank you.
Okay.
Does that mean my microphone is going to be muted?
Yes. If you notice, I didn't mute your mic today. It was a little too sensitive of a situation. Normally, I'll mute your mic 6 or 7 times in a 5-minute period. All right, we're going to talk about, we have a couple of things to get into. Last night there was a meeting. I don't know if anybody knew. I believe this was in North Utica. It was a candidates meeting for candidates running for school board in the city of Utica. I'm told it was something. And we'll speak to somebody on that coming up next hour. Also, Dave Olney, a New York State trooper, going to talk about how technology saved a woman in Herkimer County, and it was a drone that did it. It's an amazing story. We'll get to that coming up in a second. Hobuckus free money question. Do you think we can squeeze that in after all this?
Yes, and not only that, but I think we may have some more information coming on the cameras. The cameras recording speed and possibly vehicles and mailing tickets to people.
Some guy
I'll tell you what I was told yesterday, and then I'll tell you what I couldn't find out about it yesterday.
In regards to cameras at the construction sites, some guy in the 540 this morning says a cop will say a construction site is always a construction site, just like a school zone is always a school zone. We'll talk to Dave Olney about that coming up as well. Yeah. 7:37, stand by at WIBX.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Here at Lee Baldwin & Company, we're always doing the math, so we are asking everyone to take the 4% challenge. And here's how it works. You look at your savings, IRA, and other investment accounts and see if you are getting close to 4% interest on your cash. If not, just give us a call for a comparison of options available today. For your trouble, we will offer a cup of coffee for taking the time to hopefully have your money work harder for you. Oh, and don't forget to ask about even higher yielding CDs. Please call us at 315-734-1410 or visit our website at leibaldwin.com, Leigh Baldwin.com. We are a member of FINRA and SIPC, and all of our CDs are FDIC insured. So take the 4% challenge and have your money work harder for you. And as always, you do the dreaming and we'll do the math. LeeBaldwin.com.
Spring has sprung. It's the Strong Spas Factory Store Spring Sale all month long. Sangertown Square. Blowout prices on floor models and factory recertified spas. Clearing out the floor to make room for more. Immediate delivery. It's a spring super sale at Strong Spas. Visit the largest spa showroom in the country. Huge savings. Price to move. See for yourself. Find them in Sangertown Square and ask about their financing options for credit qualified buyers. Get in your spa at Strong Spas. Hurry, these spas won't last.
Hi, I'm Pete from Big Apple Music, and whether it's your home or business, you have a lot invested. In the past, a camera surveillance system was an expensive luxury. Big Apple has now made it affordable. Big Apple is the area's leader when it comes to camera surveillance systems, having installed hundreds locally in homes and businesses. Big Apple is New York State licensed for security and camera surveillance, with most of our products sourced from American companies. Featuring Starlight Night Vision, our cameras dollar for dollar have the best night vision available. A camera surveillance system can offer full property coverage. It prevents and reduces crime, monitors high-risk areas like parking lots and showrooms, and Big Apple has a fully set-up showroom to give you real-time, realistic demonstrations of just how great a camera system can be for you. Stop in and see for yourself at Big Apple Music in New Hartford.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
We invest in Herkimer and Oneida counties. We work with the community to make things better for old and young alike. Today, tomorrow, and in the years to come. Every day, we put the community's long-term savings to work. Who are we? We are the Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida counties. FoundationHOC.org. We're your community foundation, working to build a vibrant region with opportunity for all.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
Hey, I want to tell you about River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in all of Central New York. Bill and Robin Manjo, it's all about the services they provide. We talk about the book, 40 to 100 pages, everything there is to know about the house. Lockbox, they don't use it. Your listing agent, every time the house is shown, your listing agent is there to assist. And the other thing is they go out of their way and do more when it comes to photography and video when they're showing a home. So you just get a better product when you're trying to put that amazingly best foot forward, your amazing best foot forward at River Hills Properties. They step it up every step of the way. They work so hard for you to be able to sell your home. And can I say that I know someone who does video and photography for River Hills Properties, and he might be in the studio right now. Are you willing to talk about that?
Sure.
Dave Olney, you do a lot of the drone video.
Yep, I do a lot of Bill and Robin's drone video. Dana does their stills, and
when you're looking at a vast property, the drone video is so important when someone's considering the property.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
And your wife, I don't mean to cut you off. Apparently, some say I have a problem with that. Your wife does the photography.
Yes, and the whole picture. She does a 3D, and the drone gives you a view of what's not only that property but what's around. We always try to highlight the features in the area, and
it's the extra that they do.
Yeah.
It's stepping it up a level to assist you in selling your home. As I say, why wouldn't you list with River Hills Properties? Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Utica, and nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Davey, we're going to look for caller what here this morning for our free money question of the day.
Caller 8.
Caller what?
Caller 8.
Caller 8. Eighth caller through the phone lines right now. Davey's going to hook you up. We'll get you on the air. We'll give you a chance to win. Eighth caller from the Hobica Law Firm at 315-736-0186. Dave Olney, Trooper Dave Olney in studio. But, the drone video is kind of what we're talking about. Let's first get into the issue of there's a woman in Herkimer County. It was a bad situation, and it was a drone that actually was the lifesaver here. Talk about that, if you could.
Yeah, it was a little over a week ago. 1:30 in the morning we got the call. We had a couple of troopers at the residence of the caller who stated that his ex-girlfriend had taken some pills and communicated with him that she was going to harm herself, that he couldn't save her, and turns out he could. The troopers there were able to ping her cell phone. The ex-boyfriend was able to use an app to find her car, and which gave us a general area. Got there pretty quickly with a drone. Every police department in the county over there was on scene helping out. It was Herkimer, Town of Frankfort, Village of Frankfort, Ilion, Mohawk. We're all on the ground there. Troopers stayed at the house because the person, the ex-boyfriend, had her on the phone. Intermittently. She was in and out of consciousness. He had her on the phone. And
wow.
Yeah, it was the perfect storm of everybody working together for a great result. So we got there, put the drone up with the thermal imaging, went through just about one battery, and was getting intermittent communication from the house. And at one point, the person told the ex-boyfriend on the phone that she heard a buzzing noise. So I just run out of battery. I came back, threw another set of batteries in there, and
But was the buzzing noise the drone?
We think it was the drone. So
wow.
It got us even closer, and within, I got actually a picture to show you. Pictures are good for radio, aren't they?
They do really well. Yeah.
Within a couple of seconds of taking off the second time, this is what we saw from almost 400 feet up. But that white is her laying down in a swamp with t-shirt and shorts on from 400 feet up, and we were able to park the drone up over the top of her at 400 feet and directed the rescuers. There's the rescuers going in there. Directed the rescuers to her, and it was just a phenomenal result.
Now this was, I believe, near a body of water. It was like a swampy area.
Swampy, off 5S in Ilion on the south side of 5S near the marina between there and the DPW building.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't want to say no way, but very unlikely she would have been located without that, right?
Without that. Not just
only
that,
the drone.
But they find my, whatever technology was used, the GPS type technology, all of that, cell phone.
Thermal imaging.
It would have taken probably first, it would have taken somebody tripping over that vehicle in the marina late at night, finding the vehicle, associating it with this person, and then trying to figure out from there where. So they were on the ground. All the PDs were on the ground doing a phenomenal job searching everywhere they could. And then, like I said, within 25 minutes, locating her like that. And I don't, having taken some medication and being in and out of consciousness, she was wearing shorts and a T-shirt. I don't think the outcome would have been anywhere near as positive as it was.
Wow. Trooper Dave Olney with us here today. It shows you how technology can be used in a very good way and save lives today. It's incredible.
If I could mention the Herkimer Police Department, I know you're state police, but I remembered from Utica Police dealing with a situation at, why can't I think of it, the Towers, the Kennedy Plaza. They had a standoff situation with an individual and utilized Herkimer Police Department's robot, like a little robot to go in. It's got a camera feed on it. So you can go in and kind of get the layout of the individual. Do they have a weapon? What's the room look like?
Without putting human or animal in danger.
It's incredible what we're doing now. We flew the first mission for the ice or the flooding in Whitesboro. January 12th, 2018 was the first mission we flew officially in the state police, and we've flown thousands since then.
I remember that video from Whitesboro.
Yep, and there's we're not going to say no. If there's some way we can get in and either, it's really a multiplier of our ability to see something, to find something, to look for something.
Trooper Dave Olney is in studio with us. Stand by, because I want to talk about the video or the secret, I call them, secret speed checks out there that are out there, maybe at construction sites. These are cameras. Beware. You might not see a car, but there might be something there. We'll talk about that coming up in a second. Let me go to Pat, who is ready to take a shot at Hobica's free money question of the day here this morning. Hi, Pat in New Hartford. Good morning.
Morning.
You ready to take your shot here?
Sure, let's give it a go.
How old are you, Pat? I mean, for instance, you were in high school in what years?
I graduated 79.
Okay, all right. This is perfect for you because this is Hollywood history. Hollywood history. I'm sure you went to the movies back in those days, even the drive-in movies. Hollywood history. So here we go. Here is your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer. It's from the Hobeika Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. Name the star in this one, Porky's Hare Hunt. Ready, go.
I'm sorry, Corky's what?
Porky's Hare Hunt. Ready, go.
Boy, I don't know. Nothing.
Porky's Hare Hunt. Anybody on that one? Who was the star of Porky's Hare Hunt? One more time, Pat. Ready? You guys are thinking in the wrong direction. You're thinking about all those movies from the 80s, Porky's movies. This is Porky's Hare Hunt. What do you think?
Babe the Pig.
Turns out it's...
Roger, the Bugs Bunny?
Bugs Bunny. Yeah, Bugs Bunny. That was the first Bugs Bunny feature film cartoon.
I was going to say Mel Blanc.
Mel
What
Blanc.
year was that?
Boy, that would have been like 1938, 84 years ago. Porky's Hare Hunt. Yeah.
It's actually also.
By the way, I do love the Porky's movies from the early 80s. We always went to those movies. Do you remember those? No.
I don't remember those, but I do remember.
They're still up on Netflix.
Dr. Branson in Syracuse. Remember the injections that I got for the hair?
Yes,
That's the sales package they sold him was called Porky's Hare Hunt. That's what. That was how I got the thing.
Hare, of course, is spelled H-A-R-E. The hare, the rabbit hare. Okay, we're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card from Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, 72 Tavern and Grill, and any of the concession stands at Adirondack Bank Center and the Nexus Center. And also, this weekend, Gemini is playing at the Fat Cats Comedy Club Friday night and Saturday night. One show Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Go to fatcatscomedyclub.com for details. He is a phenomenal comedian, does a little bit of magic, is a ventriloquist as well. He'll be in studio Friday morning. This is a show you don't want to miss. It's the last of the spring season until fall at Fat Cats Comedy Club. So, Pat, stand by. Davey's going to take care of you, okay?
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks so much. The Porky's Hare Hunt, H-A-R-E.
What made you come up with that today?
I'm a big Bugs Bunny fan, okay? Just letting you know. All right, you're all bothered by these hidden cameras that are going to destroy our license record, our driving record, and you're going to get it in the mail. What is the answer on this?
Well,
Does this
actually,
exist?
so from
You
what
learned
I
a little
found
bit
out
yesterday.
I did learn a little bit, and I figure, Dave, you're in the know, so I figured who better to ask that you would at least be aware of this stuff. My understanding is it won't hurt your personal record. These tickets, if issued by camera, become a civil liability, and you will not get points. It doesn't matter who's driving the car. It is a fine that is due to be paid by the person who the vehicle is registered under. It could be your child. It could be your wife. They could be doing, I don't want to say
driving your
50
vehicle.
miles an hour
Yeah.
over the limit. Let's not get carried away. But essentially, it's possible you could get a ticket in the mail, and
That would not
it's
affect
simply a fine.
would not affect your insurance.
Correct. Now, did anything that I say there was true? Was any of that true to your understanding?
Yeah, that was pretty much true. It's a civil issue. I believe DOT is the one behind.
Okay, so this is not
program.
state police.
No, it's not state police. I will say, in all of my research, I found a 100% effective way to beat these things. It's to slow down in a work zone.
Oh, yeah, I figured.
So there's no trickery here.
Yeah.
The work zones, my understanding, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on these, but I've done some reading in the last few weeks when we got the announcement they were coming out. My understanding is every zone they're going to be in are going to be posted extremely well. You're going to see these vehicles. I think right now they're white Jeep Cherokees with the cameras on top. There's going to
so there is a vehicle involved.
There's a vehicle parked in the work
on the side of the road.
Prior to entering the work zone, significantly prior to entering the work zone, there's multiple signs saying speed cameras in use ahead, slow down, and I think
that's a deterrent on its own.
Yep, you'd think so. So I think there's 10 at the threshold, from what I understand, and I absolutely don't quote me on this, but it's around 10 miles an hour. So if you're 10 or plus over, the register owner of that car is going to get an invitation in the mail. Then it's going to be a civil proceeding. But slow down the work zone. I mean,
the danger that's being caused to people who are men and women who are out there working, doing their job. You hear horrible stories about, in some cases, death, but near-death experiences that these people have had.
Yeah, last week was one of the work zone awareness days, and I saw on the state police page a post of an 18-wheeler drove into the back of one of the attenuators. That's the truck with the big springs on the back that you run into so it doesn't hurt the people in the work zone. I mean, I don't know how you miss one of those. I mean, how do you don't see that coming? But it ran in the back of that truck. So if that truck hadn't been there, the result probably would have been much different. And we've had fatalities around here of people just out getting up in the morning, going out to do a job to make the roads better, and they don't come home that
If I could, this is not all camera situations. So, for instance, I know that in New York City, there are several cameras that are speed check cameras. In those situations, that's done by police. And you could get a ticket, and it would go against your license, against your insurance.
My understanding is if it's a camera, generally it's a civil issue because
really?
to make it I say criminal, but to make it a violation that's held in a local criminal court or a city court, you have to be able to face your accuser.
Okay.
So I think that's why they don't make it.
So those are not. So it wouldn't be a traffic ticket. It would be more of a civil ticket.
It's more of a civil thing,
Yeah.
like the red light cameras and things. Some of them are administered by the police departments. Most of those programs are ran by private companies.
Yeah,
and then administered through the police department.
Interesting. There's one part of me that thinks, like for instance, my car will warn me when there's a speed check. It comes up on my.
You're kidding me.
It does.
Most phones will now.
It does. Now, in the beginning, I'm thinking, wow, we're outsmarting the police officers. This probably isn't going to be legal. But at the end of the day, it's great because it is a deterrent, right?
Yep.
It slows people down.
It's just like, we'll use state police, for example. We're extremely busy. There's so few of us, and we're running from one thing to another. And traffic safety is a huge, huge part of our job and our responsibility. Nobody likes getting a ticket.
Right.
But also nobody likes somebody going by them at 100 miles an hour. Nobody likes getting ran off the road or people running a red light in front of you.
Yeah.
So it's a necessary thing. And one of the things I always tell my troopers is if you're actually not actively doing speed enforcement, drive around with your radar on. If the car's parked someplace and you're on a complaint, leave your radar on because everybody with a radar detector is slowing down.
Listen, just the car parked there is enough of a. Sometimes they'll park an empty car. Sit tight a second. We'll come back and
Plus,
chat.
I've got the next place they'll be. You don't want to miss this.
Trooper,
I think I have the next place.
Trooper
they will
Dave
be.
Volney in studio. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. President Biden wants 4 more years. I'm Dave Anthony.
The question we're facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer.
President Biden announcing his run for re-election in a video this morning.
I know we're good and decent people. I know we're still a country that believes in honesty and respect and treating each other with dignity. That we're a nation where we give hate no safe harbor.
The president's re-election announcement coming 4 years to the day since his launch of his 2020 campaign. Polling suggests strong headwinds for President Biden. A recent NBC News survey finding nearly 3 in 4 voters do not want him to run again, about half of them citing the age of the 80-year-old president.
Fox's Jared Halpern. This is the day after the president met with the so-called Tennessee Three, Democratic state lawmakers who controversially led gun control protesters into the state capitol after the deadly Nashville school shooting.
If you're standing up for our kids, you're standing up for our communities, safe communities, and democratic values.
2 of those lawmakers were expelled from the legislature, only to be reinstated by council votes in Memphis and Nashville.
The president invites them, doesn't even invite the victims' families.
Tennessee Republican State Rep Andrew Farmer wants to focus on mental health as the probe continues into that school shooting and the dead gunman.
What was in the shooter's mind? What was going on? What type of medication was this shooter on as this person was transitioning as a transgender?
There was another State House protest.
Left-wing protesters bringing the Montana State House session to a grinding halt Monday. Demanding Democrat State Representative Zoe Zephyr be allowed to speak. Zephyr, who is transgender, was censured last week after saying Republicans have blood on their hands for voting to ban gender-affirming medical care for transgender youth.
Fox's Sue Guzman. North Dakota's Republican governor has signed a bill banning almost all abortions. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, I really love to share incredible deals when I find them, and my friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they have the best value in a rifle that I have seen with their H001 Classic Lever Action 22. Now, it shoots smooth, it looks great, and it's affordable. Just $300 to $400 for a rifle made in America, and it's backed by a lifetime guarantee. And it features a great-looking American walnut stock. Now, check it out. Just go to their website, henryusa.com/H001. That's henryusa.com/H001. And be sure to get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers around where you live. They have over 200 models you can choose from. And let me be blunt, you can't go wrong with any one of them. henryusa.com/H001. Free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you live, and you'll see the Henry H001 Classic Lever Action 22 rifle. You're going to love that, and you're going to love this company.
We have mostly cloudy skies, 36 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by My Carl's. Shop My Carl's today for the lowest prices, no credit needed financing, and fast same-day delivery in the New Hartford Shopping Center and Destiny USA. State lawmakers say there is progress being made on a final state budget more than 3 weeks after the original April 1st deadline. Assembly Speaker Carl Heastie saying that there are still some things that need to be worked out, like a plan to address the illegal sale of cannabis and measures to address the environment. The legislature approved yet another budget extender yesterday that keeps the government funded through this Friday. Last year's budget was 9 days late. We are now 25 days in and counting. The acting chief of police in Ithaca taking a leave of absence from his job and also filing suit against the city. John Jolly tells the Ithaca Voice that he's pursuing legal action because he claims he was subjected to a hostile work environment. Jolly cleared out his office last week. No timetable on when it's not yet clear who is going to be leading the department in his absence. Congressman Brandon Williams will be voting in support of a plan crafted by fellow Republicans to raise the national debt limit. The proposal calls for the debt limit to be increased by more than $1 trillion in exchange for deep spending cuts. The 22nd District Representative believes the plan is a good way to help prevent a government shutdown and address out-of-control spending in Washington. It's expected the House would vote on that bill later this week. A Watervliet mother is scheduled to be sentenced today on an attempted murder charge after being accused of trying to kill her own child. Prosecutors say Samantha Valentine threw her 10-month-old child across the room several times over the course of several days back in 2021. The boy suffered bleeding in his brain but survived. Valentine was due to be sentenced this past Friday but did not show up for court. Music icon Willie Nelson will be making a return trip to the Saratoga Performing Arts Center later this year. He'll be on stage at the popular concert venue as part of the Outlaw Music Festival. It's set for Friday, September 15th. Nelson, who is now 89, Bill, still on tour.
I cannot believe it.
Still smoking pot, I think, or did he give that up?
No, I think that he probably is.
He will be joined by artists including the String Cheese Incident and Particle Kid. Tickets for the show go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. through Live Nation. Well, we've seen the 80s and we've seen the 40s. What can we expect this week? We get full details on your forecast from Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Partial sun to clouds, scattered pop-up showers, perhaps a few thunder showers, maybe some graupel or small hail, a high of 52. Tonight, mostly cloudy. Still a few rain or wet snow showers around, a low of 32. And still chilly tomorrow. Scattered rain, perhaps wet snow showers around into early afternoon and then tapering late day, high 51. For more on your local forecast, tune Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
We have cloudy skies, actually now up to 39 degrees. WIBX News Time coming up on 8:07. All right, in sports, the Jets finally getting that deal done with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers headed to New York. According to multiple reports, terms of the deal include a swap of first-round picks with the Jets this year, also a second-round pick and a sixth-round pick in next year's draft for the Packers. The Jets will get Rodgers, this year's first-rounder for the Packers, and a third-rounder next year. The Packers could also get a second-round pick from the Jets that would turn into a first-round, depending on the number of snaps Rodgers plays this season. NBA playoffs, the 8th-seeded Miami Heat now a 3-1 series lead over the Eastern Conference number 1 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks. Jimmy Butler scored 56 points last night in a 119-114 victory. Out west, the Lakers outlast the Grizzlies, 117-111 in overtime. They now lead that series 3 games to 1. LeBron James, 22 points and 20 rebounds. The NBA playoffs continue today with Boston, Denver, and Phoenix all holding 3-1 series leads, looking to close things out in Game 5s tonight. Meanwhile, the Knicks have a 3-1 series lead. They will play Game 5 in Cleveland coming up tomorrow night. Hockey playoffs, the Hurricanes hoping to eliminate the Islanders tonight. They lead that series 3-1, Game 5 being held in Carolina. The best-of-7 first-round series between the Rangers and Devils now knotted at 2 apiece. New Jersey topped the Blue Shirts 3-1 in Game 4 at MSG last night. Once again, Andre Palat sealed the win with an empty netter. The series returns to Newark for Game 5 coming up on Thursday night. Baseball, the Yankees dropped their series opener to the Twins 6-1. Mets were off yesterday. They looked to snap a 2-game losing streak when they open up a series against the horrible Nationals, who are off to a 7-14 start. In other news, veteran right-hander Justin Verlander is likely to make a minor league rehab start coming up on Friday. Smitty, do we think that's going to be in Syracuse?
No, they're on the road. They're in Toledo.
Gotcha. Well, there you go.
All right. Okay, we have a lot to get to here. Before we break, though, with Dave Olney in, you have something to reveal.
Well, yeah. So, and again, we mentioned, and Dave's in here. Dave, I don't even know if you have any information on this. Again, this is from an initiative, my understanding, from the DOT. But you talk about these cameras being placed in construction zones. My first question is, to your understanding, does that get rid of the, double points, double fine if it's on a camera? They always say that in a construction zone, it's double points, double fine. But if there's no points associated, certainly you wouldn't get any points. You wouldn't get doubled for it.
Yeah, again, this is a civil proceeding. It's not the same as a traffic ticket. We still have our TIM unit. We still have our troopers, our TIM unit, or traffic incident management troopers. That's all they do is work zones. My understanding also is with these cameras, they're only going to be active in the work zone during active work zone periods when there's people actually in the work zone. Just like you mentioned earlier about a school zone and stuff. School zone's a school zone only when school's in session. Those lights are flashing.
When the lights are flashing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So somebody shared some information with us yesterday. We actually got a tip. I went and checked it out, that on Route 8 in the town of Paris, between Sequoit and Clayville, that a speed camera was being installed there. Now, I could not confirm that from anybody I reached out to. So I went out there myself. There are several new signs that have been put on the side of the road on Route 8 in both directions that are now covered at this moment with a tarp, or at least they were yesterday afternoon. I say a tarp, like basically a plastic bag. I should have asked you this first, Dave. It's not a penalty, to your knowledge, to go up and peek under the sign, is it?
Why did you did?
Well, I wanted to. People were telling me they were installing a camera. I wanted to see if there was a camera there. I think it is about to be a work zone, and I think the signs said a combination of construction zone and detour. Yeah. So they were the orange signs.
Okay.
I did not see any signs that I peeked under that had a camera on them, but I'm told
there won't be a camera on any sign. There won't be any permanent. If my understanding, there won't be any permanent mounted structure with a camera. So if you're seeing things go up right now and there's nobody else there, there's no vehicle there, that's not one of the speed cameras that they're referring to. Those cameras are mounted on white SUVs. I think they're all Cherokees, and they'll be in the work zone when the work zone is active.
So, and the story on that, if you'd like to see those SUVs, by the way, one of our contributors on a sister station did a story about this about a week and a half ago. Just search speed cameras on our website, and that story will come up. You can see what they look like, and you can see them actually posted along a New York State Thruway active construction site, or at least it was active a couple of weeks ago. So there's more information on that on our website. If you travel on Route 8, slow down. Certainly you don't want to get a ticket.
The idea is somebody could be killed.
100%. That's the underscore. There is. I know there's a lot of consternation. There's a lot of people worried about these cameras. The bottom line is just slow down in a work zone. You have zero to worry about if you actually follow the law.
Yeah.
When you're going into all the time, but when you're going into a work zone especially.
And I can't believe we're not changing our behaviors, because if you're in a city atmosphere, you're on camera.
Around here, you're on camera.
Yeah.
The last study I read was a while ago, but you're on camera something like 300 times a day. Every time you leave the house and go someplace, you're on camera everywhere. We're solving so many things with people's Ring doorbell cameras and business cameras and things like that. You're on camera everywhere.
Yeah.
But we're also, everybody's in a hurry. Everybody's got someplace to be. We're
just kind of forgetting about it.
Yeah, and everybody's into their self and not really worried about what else is going on.
Yeah.
So just pay attention.
One more on the drones.
Yeah.
What is your role statewide? Because you were like on the forefront of this.
You're everywhere.
The first time
you
state
started
police
this program, didn't you?
Well, so it's neat. I worked in our planning and research office in Albany for 4 years, from 13 to 17. And this program started with a Post-it note on my desk from a colonel saying, "Look into drones." I'm like, what? I thought, I pictured like a Reaper or a Predator. That I was like, oh, cool, But it started with a Post-it note on my desk. I left that office in 2017 to come back home, and in coming back home, I became the troop UAS coordinator. So I coordinate all the pilots and all the activities in D Troop, and in this section of the New York State Thruway. And it's just been a phenomenal experience. Going right from the start with we did our policy and procedures, our training program, our standard operating procedure. We met with the ACLU right off the bat to talk to them about their concerns, and just to watch this grow from the ground up to saving a life. From a Post-it note to not just one, from many lives, including our own. That we'll have an active shooter, and we'll put a drone right in the house. We have all different sizes and all different capabilities, and it puts a machine where a person doesn't have to go, and it gives us intelligence.
Not to mention, every police officer, for the most part today, not just here in New York, but all over the country, has a body cam. And initially, that was thought to be, on both sides, people were kind of against it. But I think at the end of the day, when this is all said and done, it as much as people thought of it in the negative, it's going to prove guilt. It also can prove innocence.
Body cams are a phenomenal tool.
Yeah.
I had a camera in my car for years and years and years, and there were a few incidents that were kind of high profile that people would have just never believed actually happened if they didn't have a camera.
They didn't involve me.
Most of them didn't involve me.
Okay. All right.
They give us a really good insurance policy, basically, against people.
An unbiased witness.
It really is.
I understand that a picture, a video can be deceiving too, but for the most part, when you have multiple cameras, it gets rid of the he said, she said. It's the evidence that's right there for you to see.
That is what happened.
Yeah.
There's no black or gray area. That's what happened. And it's a great insurance policy for us. It's a great insurance policy for people. It protects us. And I think in the long run, it makes police officers be a little more professional.
Yeah.
Because you're being watched. It's like your boss is with you every step of the way. So it kind of ups everybody's game.
I've noticed that we're more professional in studio since we had cameras brought in.
Yeah, so you should have seen it before. It was a disaster.
It was terrible.
I noticed you wearing pants this time.
Yeah, yeah. It's changed everything, Dave.
It does. It really has.
But like you said, people tend to act more professionally when they know they're on camera. They're more conscious of their behavior, their attitude, the language they use. And it's true of police officers also. And just one more follow-up to that. This was when they first passed the bill regarding recreational marijuana. And you had basically said that I've kind of, in the middle of making my point here, lost my point. There are drug recognition experts out on the road, and you need to be trained to be able to recognize somebody. There's a limited number of people. I'm sure that's grown significantly since but I would have to imagine there's also a limited number of people who can operate a device the way you do. And I'm wondering, do you do instruction with it? Do you instruct classes, or do you go get additional instruction for what you already know?
Little of both. We try to do a lot of in-house training. In this troop, I only have, including myself, I think 7 pilots now.
Statewide, or you said in Troop D?
In Troop D. So
Yeah.
it's basically all of from Canada down to below Route 20, all of Central New York, from Herkimer County out to the on the other side of Onondaga County. I have 1 in Zone 2, which is out by Syracuse. I have 1 in Zone 3, and the rest are here in Zone 1. We're always looking for new pilots from within our ranks. One of the things we insist is they come to the table already with their FAA license, so it shows an investment to them. So they have to go and get it's not a license or certificate.
Right,
so they have to go and get their certificate and earn that certificate, and then we can bring them in and get them in the program, train them to our specific specifications.
Okay.
I forgot where I was going now. It's a very
contagious.
It's a very detailed thing. We train once a month. We take a training day and we go fly. We do things. We train at night. We train indoors. We train outdoors. We train in bad weather. We train as much as we can. There's no substitution for hands on those controls. And fortunately, we've had very few mishaps. Most of them are in training because we're kind of pushing the envelope in training to figure out our limitations. And one of the neatest things we found is the old mall out in Fayetteville, I think, that's shut down. Onondaga County has let us go in there, so our last 2 indoor trainings in the winter,
I see.
We fly around inside the mall.
Wow.
It is incredible experience.
Yeah.
It's a great experience to be able to go and fly way beyond visual line of sight through a mall and get yourself, 7 rooms deep in a store, or and then know you have to get back because you can't go get it if your battery dies or you go down because maybe there's an active shooter or something. So it's that training that's irreplaceable. So there's very few of us. There's much fewer of us than there are DREs. In the state, we're up to about 450 DREs now. We're really pushing the training on that to try to get as many out as we can.
That's drug recognition.
Dave, only great insight, New York State Police.
Thank you. You saved someone's life last night. Thank you.
Last
week.
Mike says, I just think having a body camera has the capabilities of diffusing a situation, and I believe that's probably very true, right?
It does.
Yeah. Dave Olney, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys.
Coming up, Utica School Board. We'll get into that, and the Meet the Candidates event last night, which was very, very civil. Very, very civil. We'll speak with Joe Habaika coming up. With tax day last week, you might be wondering how to get more of a refund next year. Under the new Inflation Reduction Act, you can get money back on making energy improvements to your home, like new windows. And the experts at New York Sash have all the information you need to take advantage. With the new energy rebates for 2023, you can get a tax credit of 30% of the cost of new windows. That's up to $600. But even better than that, for a limited time, New York Sash will match your window tax credit. Install brand new energy-efficient New York Sash brand windows in your home. Get a credit on your taxes, and New York Sash will match it, which brings it up to $1,200 off your window project. Restrictions may apply. Contact New York Sash for details. Joe Habaika is running for re-election on the school board in the city of Utica. There are 4 candidates who are running. Last night was a Meet the Candidates event. How'd that go, Joe?
Well, actually, Bill, there are 5 candidates running now.
Okay.
I guess you could call it ideology versus information. They had an event at the North Utica Senior Center, and it was the same place where they ended up having to have police intervention in last year's Meet the Candidates.
Yeah.
So they had these ground rules, and they were allowing you 2 minutes to do an introductory statement. Now, that works if you have really nothing to say but a bunch of buzzwords.
Right.
But if you have actual facts, you need more time. Then they allowed questions from the audience, and they gave you a minute to respond. So the first question gets asked, and that basically went through without any real problem or issue. The ground rules were that you were supposed to talk about whatever your position was. Well, one of the candidates decided that they were going to start with the personal attacks. So, and then things just devolved from there.
Which was the candidate? Which one?
I bet you that if I gave you a half a guess, you could figure out who started it.
Was it Sue Arcuri?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
And she was spouting racist remarks, and I mean, just saying all of these things about wokeness and all these other buzzwords, and thankfully nobody really followed that particular bandwagon. And I don't think many of the candidates. I know that Mr. Cooper attends the meetings and has some knowledge of what's going on. But the rest of the candidates really had no knowledge, didn't really watch the meetings, or if they did watch the meetings, apparently there's a comprehension issue because they really were not characterizing what actually happens in the district with any amount of fairness. There was Mr. Martosha was attacking the teachers, saying that we don't have quality teachers, and then he was attacking the administrators, and he wants a strong disciplinary code, and he wants to basically run the schools like a prison. What he doesn't understand is that we actually have a very strong disciplinary code that's applied to students. And we actually need to make adjustments to it because just punishment-based results aren't effective, because what ends up happening is you detach the students that need to be attached to the educational process as a result of a lot of times behavior. So that might warrant, some social work or some counseling. And then they kept talking about quote-unquote parent involvement, which is another buzzword. And one of the candidates wanted to have elected parent representatives. And I said, you mean like a parent-teacher association? And, that way they could bring, he was saying that they wanted to bring things to the board. And I said, as part of our board agendas, PTAs are allowed to come and report or ask questions of the board itself.
Yeah.
So, the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding, is kind of mind-numbing. And then the meeting is being run, and the moderator is just banging his gavel when you're trying to finish any thought, and I thought that it was, a little over the top.
Yeah.
And, there were a lot of good questions that were asked, but it really wasn't an enjoyable experience in any way. So, I just kept encouraging people to actually go to the Utica School District website, go to the live streams. You can see all the saved meetings,
Right.
and you can actually see what goes on as opposed to, what is being pretended to go on.
I have two quick questions, Joe and Steve. I see you want to say something.
No, I just wanted to say, Mr. Holbeika, my father said that he worked or helped with you, and I wanted to see how that went.
Well, I have to say your father did a wonderful job. That's Herb Cully. And, Mr. Karam's lawsuit in state court was fully dismissed with prejudice yesterday. And the Supreme Court judge said that the board followed all the appropriate procedures, but more importantly said that it was not an adverse employment action to put him on leave with pay pending the investigation. We did not breach his contract in any way.
All right.
So, and then he indicated that, Mr. Karem's personal grievances against and allegations against the individual board members that actually followed appropriate procedure was not a place for in the courthouse.
Joe, I will say the story is up on our website at WIBX950.com. You can check that out. One other quick question, if I could. Howard Potter sent us a report on one of those candidates, Sue Arcuri, who has a blog. Check that out. It's really something. What is the name of it? Do you know what that is, Jeff?
I'm not. Listen,
I'm not asking.
She attacks everybody on the planet.
I understand. I'm not asking you.
Content.
I'm asking Manaski.
SueArcuri.com.
SueArcuri.com. Check that out. That's something to look at. But he sent us this report on an arrest. Does she have an arrest involving criminal sale of a controlled substance to children? Is it to children?
No, I don't know about that. I do know that she was convicted of selling drugs. I think she got a I think it was a B felony. She ended up getting sentenced to lifetime probation.
I'm looking at that right now. That's what he sent us.
I've been practicing law for over 30 years, and I've never seen anybody that was sentenced to lifetime probation. I think ultimately lifetime probation was found to be unconstitutional. But I think that the judge had some insight into her character because if there's a woman that really requires supervision because she is completely irresponsible and deranged, that would be her. So,
okay, all right.
The other thing that I wanted to mention is that I think that there are portions of the federal lawsuit that will be affected by the state lawsuit, from what I'm told. So I would take anything that Mr. Karem's attorney says with a grain of salt.
He has a statement inside in our story, which is up on our website at WIBX950.com. Okay, Joe.
We have a school board meeting tonight, so tune in if you want to watch an effective public meeting. We're going to be, as a matter of fact, we're going to be making some interesting presentations. One of them is actually on the process and procedure followed by the board as it relates to, the process involved in that, was part of the lawsuit.
Okay, all right.
We'll be talking about that and, a host of other details and information. And I just do want to clarify that if, someone did have an opportunity to see the forum, we actually have reports by all kinds of portions of the district talking about everything from special education to different programs that we plan on implementing or have implemented. So, the idea that this information is kept from the public is not an accurate one.
Where would they find that information? On the website?
Go to the Utica City School District website, look for the live streams. You can click on any of the meetings.
Okay.
The interesting thing is that our meetings used to be attended by 20, 30 people in person, and you can look on there now. You'll see 900 people watched it, 1,800 people watch it, 2,500 people watch it. We've really taken steps to broaden the availability to parents and taxpayers and even students.
All right, Joe is running for school board in Utica. We'll have him on again at some point here. Thank you, Joe, as always. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thing I did want to say.
Yes.
If you're against no-so jobs, if you're against overtime abuse, and if you're in favor of accountability and process and procedure, then please vote for me.
Okay.
If you're not in favor of those things, I'm not your candidate.
Joe Hamika, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too, Bill.
All right. That meeting was held in North Utica last night. I think there are a few more of those coming up. Yeah, pretty rowdy. That is it SueRcurie.com? Check it out. What did she say about me? Did she mention me?
There is a mention to media in here. I haven't seen you mentioned by name.
I'm so disappointed.
You're not what you used to be, Bill.
No, I mean, I used to be a topic of conversation. Wait a minute. What do you have?
You are mentioned by name. It just talks about the tape that was played on the show.
Oh,
but it
okay.
does mention your name. It does mention the show.
Okay.
Oh, it does. Oh, look, which one are you on?
You guys go look at that. I'm going to, as you do that, Steve, hold on. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, a new primary physician, reach out to the Falcon Clinic today by calling this phone number, 315-507-4751. Is your doctor retiring and you need a new doctor? The Falcon Clinic, Dr. Shemolinsky, Dr. Zielinski, and others, all under one roof. Call them today. Located in Washington Mills, it's the Falcon Clinic. 315-507-47. You're smirking.
I can't believe you sent them to this website after the clip art I just saw with your face on it.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh, no, I'm not kidding.
315-507-4751. I've never read it. I've had other people tell me about it. And I like to say if a tree falls in a forest and nobody hears it, did the tree really fall? And as far as I'm concerned, it does. She can say whatever she wants about me.
So you've put a megaphone in the forest is what you've done.
Yes.
So every time a tree falls.
Anything she wants, feel free to say it. What do you want to say?
Do you think Sue Arcuri would come on my podcast?
She might. You can work on that. Reach out, SueArcuri.com. 8:33 at WIBX.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
Broadway Utica presents My Fair Lady, May 1st and 2nd at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org or call 315-724-4000.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there. It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Honey, why are you peeking out the window and spying on the neighbors?
I can't stop watching what they're doing to their house. Look at that. They added a sunroom and put in a pool. Do you think they won the lottery?
No, not the lottery. Julie and Jeff got a home equity loan from Adirondack Bank. They're using the equity from their home to renovate.
Really?
Yes, Adirondack Bank has home equity rates as low as 3.99% annual percentage rate. You can access the equity in your home to fund almost anything.
Huh. Maybe we should call Adirondack Bank. What about a new kitchen? Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, then, of course, we would need new furniture, and we could repair the roof. Oh, and even take that trip to Italy that we've always talked about. And, of course, I need a new car.
Slow down, honey. Let's go talk to the experts at Adirondack Bank.
Stop into your local Adirondack Bank for more information on home equity loan rates as low as 3.99% APR. Or call 877-404-2265 for credit costs and terms. Apply today at AdirondackBank.com. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hello, I'm Joanne Moskal, Chief Operating Officer for Hospice and Palliative Care. At hospice, we often hear that caregivers think of hospice as giving up, but what they are really doing is giving their loved one the opportunity to make the most of the time they have together. When a patient is appropriate for hospice, they've already been diagnosed with a terminal illness. You are not giving up on your loved one. Instead, you are increasing their care by compassionate nurses to ensure they remain comfortable throughout their disease. We want to know what is most important to you and what a good day looks like to the patient and to you. Together, we will design the care you want on your terms. We often hear, we wish we had called hospice sooner.
Hospice and Palliative Care, servicing Oneida, Herkimer, and Madison County.
Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, 315-735-6484, or visit us at hospicecareinc.org. Hospice and Palliative Care. When you need us most.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Are you considering buying an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid? Wouldn't it be nice to just fuel up at home with an EV charging station? Potentia is helping to make the convenience of charging easier for your home and your business. As a leader in green electrical projects, Potentia has completed hundreds of large sustainable commercial projects across New York State and are now getting into the residential market. No more stops at the gas station. Charge at home conveniently and economically. With New York State's zero emissions mandate by 2035, Potentia can help design, supply, even install residential and commercial EV charging systems at your home or your business. From permitting and design through the complete installation, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a turnkey EV charging solution with various packages and options available. They guarantee your satisfaction with all their products and their workmanship. Visit Potentia at 4685 Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford. Give them a call at 315-765-6184 or view their website at potentiamanagement.com.
WIBX 950 and 1069 FM. This is Keeler.
Hey, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program is from Daylight Donuts in New Hartford. Chuck Sedella, where he holds court every single day. It's where the real issues of the world are spoken about. It's Daylight Donuts, the lattes, up to 14 flavors, fresh bagels and donuts every single day, and the Seattle's best coffee. It is Daylight Donuts in the village of New Hartford. In studio right now is the legendary, you might know him as a furniture person for many, many years, but really he's a TV star, Al Tahan. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you and your kids all over the TV, and you're carrying on that great tradition of the TV commercials.
Yes, we're trying, Bill.
I do enjoy your. I love the football spots.
They're a lot of fun, and we try to have fun.
Is it trick photography, or are you really making amazing catches?
The boys are real good.
They're good.
Yeah,
they look like they played football.
They played football, yeah.
Okay, we wanted to bring you in. At this day and age, it's great to hear in brick and mortar stores, businesses in the area that are expanding. We have a big focus on shopping local, and you've done some expansion over at Tahan's.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
So tell us about the new Ashley store.
Well, we are bringing to Central New York the first Ashley store in the Utica Rome market, and it's all about choices and bringing that exciting brand. They're a phenomenal company, and they have a lot to offer. And we're just so excited and proud to be selected and to partner with a phenomenal company like Ashley. And I think people of Central New York deserve choices.
So what makes why is Ashley different? Explain that.
Well, they do a lot of things right. First thing they do is take care of the customer. They make phenomenal product. They are the most progressive with style and presentation.
A lot of stuff that you wouldn't normally find around here.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
And they're a huge and enormous line, so you can visit our expansive showroom and see a phenomenal selection of Ashley furniture presented in home settings, complete with accessories, the carpeting, a lot of great ideas. We think it's a pretty store and makes shopping easier. And they also have an incredible amount of furniture that we can get for you very quickly.
Yeah.
So
that you mentioned that getting very quickly has been, since the pandemic, a real. I think it was shortly after the pandemic. I walked into your store, and one of your salespeople said, "Look around. It's going to be a while to get what. Here's what we have in stock. Everything else is going to take a while." This really shut down the industry, right? COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it was a challenge for everybody, I think, in all industries, whether you were selling cars, furniture, appliances, shelves and clothing stores. I mean, everyone went through the same thing, and it was kind of a third, and a third, Bill, even in our store. A third of the furniture we carried, we had plenty, more than we needed. A third, we had about enough, and a third was very difficult to get. So, but thank God we managed to do okay, and we got more than our share, thank God.
So, talk about the Ashley store, where it is, the opening, and all of what people need to know to check it out.
Well, the newest store is on Route 49 in Marcy, in the Marcy Town Plaza. It's over 30,000 square feet. We think it's a beautiful store, and we just invite everybody to. No purchase necessary. Come on in, take a look around, and I think you'll be pleased, and we'll be here to serve you.
All right.
Right down the road.
Right
Go
down
check
here.
it out on lunch
Yeah,
today.
right down here.
A couple of things to offer people. Our grand opening is Saturday, this Saturday at 10 a.m. The first 100 people will get $100 in Ashley cash, and we're going to give away a $2,500 shopping spree. There's no purchase necessary. Just stop in. You got an appliance store, but you're more than welcome to come and take a look around, even if you're just thinking about something for the future.
Listen, my history doesn't go back as long as the history of your store, Joe Tahan's. But I do remember back way in the early 90s going out onto to Henry Street and doing broadcasts out there. The history of Tahan's is pretty legendary. Great local story.
Well, I mean, it started with my dad, and many people don't realize that after World War II, Dad didn't go into the furniture business, Bill. He sold door to door out of his car for 35 years.
Wow, for that
40
long.
years, yeah.
Wow.
And there were a lot of people who did. There was the milkman, the bread man, and Joe Tahan.
Yeah.
And you could he sold home furnishings, bedspreads, cups, saucers, all the little accoutrements that you would decorate and use in a kitchen or a home, cutlery, you name it. And you could give Dad a couple dollars a week, and he would, afford you these new items for your home. And he built quite a trade, eventually opening his first little store in Rome in a rented building in 1975 at the age of 58.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah. So
That's pretty inspiring. That is inspiring right there.
Yeah, he did have a little setback in '64 when he rented and opened up his first store. There was a tragic fire in the building 10 months after he opened, next to the Savoy in Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And it set him back 10 years. He refused to go bankrupt. He lost everything. He went back on the road with his car, settled all his accounts, and reopened in 1975.
Wow. Wow.
By then, my sisters and I, we were all off in college. And we didn't grow up in the furniture business. But my dad started this little store, and eventually I found my way back after college, and I would always help my dad. And next thing you know, I'm still here.
You're still here. And you're bringing your kids into it. And I think the greatest thing they could have ever done to honor your dad was to make the addition to Mount Rushmore. I felt that I really feel like that was a great honor. So I love that commercial, by the way. It looks so real, the commercial, right?
Well, he's our president.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Still the head of our family.
And the little and the sayings after every commercial were really something special and so novel.
Those, man, holy cow!
Well, you could tell that he loved what he was doing. And it came natural to him.
What a great story! Later in life as well. I'm 58 years old. There's still a chance. There still might be hope for me.
Yeah, and he chose to stay active and worked well into his 80s, waiting on customers, and that's what he loved.
Yeah,
you know, he enjoyed it. So it wasn't work for him. But he traveled in his later years. Me and my sisters took care of things. And then my sons decided to come into the business, which was quite a surprise to me. It was actually asked and wanted to. We, as a parent, we just want our children to follow their dreams. It took me quite by surprise, to be honest with you.
Awesome.
So,
well, that's a great story on its own. So, Al Tahan, thank you.
I just want you to know this afternoon, Bill's going to be in his Mazda CX-5, 9, going door to door, selling whatever he can find in the back of his car.
I've been inspired.
Awesome.
I'm not sure that would work the way it did back then. Back then, it
Get
worked.
out of here! What do you want?
Yeah, that's the problem today. Yeah. And I think your dad would be extremely proud of the new Ashley store. So
I think he would. Yeah. And he'll be with us in spirit on Saturday.
All right, cool. All right, congratulations, Al. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right,
Thank you, everyone.
Got a break. Coming up, we'll talk, why not, Complete Streets in Utica. 847 at WIBX.
Hi, this is Jill Hayes.
And this is Scott Hayes from New York Sash.
And we're here to tell you, never let a window salesperson in your home.
Wait, what?
That's right. Never invite a company you don't know yet into your home.
But, honey, we need to measure the windows and calculate savings.
I know, Scott, but I'm worried that people will get stuck with one of those high-pressure window companies. So instead, I'm telling them to come to our showroom.
Oh, okay.
Instead of high pressure, come to our beautiful showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro, where there's no pressure and all of our products are on display. Siding, bathrooms, gutters, and of course, windows.
Browse our new line of New York Sash brand windows. Open and close them, see how easy they are to clean and how beautiful they look. And only when you're ready, we'll come out and measure them up.
Seeing is believing, and at our New York Sash Idea and Design Center, there's never any pressure. Just siding, bathrooms, windows, and more.
We're open Monday through Saturday on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. And as always,
let our family take care of your family.
Don't take chances with your brakes. Find out why Oriskany Garage is a top-rated destination for auto repair in the Utica area. Oriskany Garage delivers friendly professional service, great prices, and a commitment to never, never try to sell you something that you don't need. For brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience award-winning service at Oriskany Garage down the street from Utica College or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Hey, listen, if you have severe back, neck, or shoulder pain, there is help out there. This is the Omni Surgical Center. Now, somebody was talking to me at the Comets game the other night. You mentioned it's a surgeon. Dr. Hyder is a surgeon. But you say that what your dad had was non-invasive. That's because there are other procedures as well that could possibly avoid an actual surgery. And it's Dr. Hyder. People come from all over to the Omni Surgical Center in Utica. For my dad, it's nothing short of a miracle. You walk in incredible pain, and when he walks out, the pain is gone. And it's the follow-up as well. It's the maintenance that they put into keeping that pain from coming back. It's the Omni Surgical Center, where modern technology meets cutting-edge surgery. Phone number is 315-765-8448. They're located in the Utica Business Park, and the surgery center is on French Road. The website says it all, killpain.com. Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgical Center. Call today, 315-765-8448.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Cully wants to say, Steve this morning blew our minds much earlier this morning. I don't know if I can go through the whole story. No. Because there's just so much. But you wanted to, before you leave, Steve Cully, you wanted to say something before you go.
Yes, I wanted to thank Kim. I'm hoping that I'm going to bring her to the comedy club this weekend and you would get to meet her.
Okay.
I wanted to thank my family for putting up with me. They did everything for me. They stood by me. They loved me. I wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come on and talk.
Yes.
You didn't mute me, which was very nice.
I didn't.
And I really appreciate that you let me tell my story and were very supportive.
All right. Well, I'm.
And my father's in the parking lot.
He
He's
is.
thrilled that I mentioned him today.
Okay, that's
and,
cool.
I will be heading out.
All right. Well,
Is that the horn I keep hearing?
Yeah, that's it.
One thing he lost below the knee, diabetes, and went through a really rough period here. But when do they go down the road of talking about a prosthetic?
So that's going to be a little while. I have the surgery next Wednesday.
Okay.
It's got to heal. It's got to shrink up. It's got to swell. It's going to be a couple months. So I got to
Okay.
get used to the bike and being able to move on my
All right.
own.
Hopefully, we'll see you at the Comedy Club this weekend.
Yes.
Stay close to family, please.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people love you, man. Take care of yourself.
I know. I appreciate
All right.
that. And thank you very
All right,
much.
man.
Thank you, man.
Steve Cully.
Thank you.
Katie Aiello is in. You have been this has been a roller coaster ride for you, has it not?
Sure has. Good
Yeah.
morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
So, are you okay over there?
Yeah, my pants are falling down. Where was
Okay,
I?
keep your pants up. Don't look, Katie.
I thought you said the cameras helped.
Oh, it was too late. Normally the cameras do
No, I'm
help.
still learning.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't see anything, so here we are.
Right. You're back.
Back to complete straight.
All right. So the vote came in, and you did not have enough votes. But what does that all mean?
Right.
Some say it means that it should automatically go back to 4 lanes.
Of course, they want it to be that.
Others are saying that's not the case.
Our actual codes don't actually say that Genesee Street is laned for 4 lanes. It just says laned. That's ambiguous. We need to visit that and fix that.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
basically here to say that I am still lobbying for it, and I think if people have more, whatever happens, we need to fix the road right away. We need to get it painted. We all agree on that. We need to come back together as a council and make a decision and deliberate on that. I did say, if you haven't been watching the meetings or you haven't been involved in the last 6 months, I narrowed this down to, I'll make it quick, but it's 8 topics and of what keeps getting addressed. So in 2020, they said the trial from down below Oneida Square wasn't reflective of the rest of Genesee Street. Don't implement it.
Okay.
So now we did the trial in downtown. They don't like it still. In 6 months ago, they said wait until spring. Now it's spring, and they're saying wait till 2025 because they want to see.
Bill up to the hospital opens.
Right. And yes, exactly, for those numbers. So they wanted to know what the hospital's numbers would be and what the road would be like. So we got CNS Engineering to do a study that actually does simulations to implement that. And they give us the green light saying that this traffic pattern is good for the numbers we're about to see. So then, we hear that they want to hear from safety. Is this road diet safe?
Yeah.
Safety actually said accidents were down. And New York State DOT said 3 lanes is safer than 4. They wanted ample public input. Well, we've had over 1,000 surveys with 100% completion rate, which is great. So people are engaged. We love that.
Very engaged, some.
Yes. They wanted businesses to have notice, and I agree. And here we have had 6 months because this is a trial, and now we're seeing it. Hopefully, we'll see it implemented, and we've had business.
So you still have hope that it's going to be implemented?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's what downtown needs to grow.
Your fellow Democrat, DeBrango, has voted against that.
Yes, he has. And I hope he will even come to see what we're seeing here.
Okay.
And, they said they wanted the checklist to be completed. Brian Thomas, our head of planning, said that they already did that 6 months ago. Didn't really change any outcomes. So it's pretty straightforward checklist. And the last one, they said that they were, they did it like the road design map that was given to them of the photo from 2012. This was 6 months ago for the trial. So now here we have a new road design map from CNS Engineering based on what is expected with the hospital,
Okay.
and they're still not liking that. So I don't know how much of this is actually about process versus they just don't want it.
They don't want it.
Is it possible to compromise with the 4 lanes? In the outside lane would be a bike and vehicle lane. For instance, if I'm if I'm riding my bike, really almost any part of the city, there is not a bike lane. So for me to get downtown with my bike, I'm going to have to be in a vehicle lane, sharing with a car. Has anybody suggested that? Would you be for that? Is that possible?
There are, with the width of Genesee Street, we can still fit the bike lanes, and they do recommend bike lanes more than sharrows, as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And but when you get down closer, so after like South Street, it would become a sharrow. So what you're saying is exactly that. And then I think Venice Urban was the one saying it during the meeting of you just ride closer to the cars anyways, parked along the side. and go through that. But that's come up. And I've always said this was never about adding bike lanes. It's just cool that now we have the room for it.
Yeah,
It's about making the road accommodated to the size of how many cars we do have. And
is it possible that that the majority of people are not for it, and it's not a good issue for you in your reelection? Have you thought about that?
I'm here to do what's right. And I know that this is like politically concerning to a lot of people, but this is, I'm a business owner down there too. It's what we need. We want people to come to downtown and be in it. When we saw Complete Streets first implemented, it became a much calmer atmosphere, and pedestrians got to walk across the street easier. People in wheelchairs, strollers, all modes of transportation now had a reason to be out and about.
Is it? We had someone tell us that what your real goal is to reduce traffic on Genesee Street.
We'll have the same amount of traffic, and I guess the real goal is to just improve the quality of life for everyone else. CNS Engineering told us that at peak traffic times, worst case scenario, we're seeing 15 to 25 seconds extra time if you're like stuck in traffic, so to say. And my joke was that I'm offended if you don't want to be in downtown 25 seconds longer. So we need to make a downtown that people want to stay in and be in.
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
Your residency issue, is that resolved?
Yes, that has been. What I am on the ballot, I have confirmed that with the Working Family Party's line and the Democratic Party, my signatures are valid. We're still waiting to hear from Board of Elections if Morella's are, but I went ahead and little update on the campaign is I filed a lawsuit against her petitions that will go to the Supreme Court to evaluate if she has fraudulent signatures on her petitions that I believe to be true.
You believe that she has?
Yes.
And could knock her off the ballot?
Yes.
You feel? Okay.
And that is something that, we have a lot of election law on that. And if it's, you need a certain amount of signatures, but this isn't about enough signatures. This is about valid signatures that the person who signed it, and the witness who watched it actually watched that person sign it.
And what makes you think that that was not done properly?
You evaluate the petitions.
Was there anything that stood out to you?
Yeah, I'll start by, there's one person that I got his signature, and I said, you didn't sign for anybody else, right? He said, no. I get Morella's signatures, and his name is on there. I brought it to him. I said, is this your handwriting? He said, no. So we started to pull that thread, and a lot more came to light. So now it will go before a judge, and it will be up to them to decide.
What is the next step on the process of Complete Streets? Bring it back full circle.
I'm going to try to call for another special meeting, I think, here. And we really do need to get in a room and really talk it out even more, apparently.
Because something's got to be done, right?
Yes.
There's a story on our website right now that you can read. It's got some quotes from Michael Galimi and Frank Miola from yesterday. But what I was arguing is true. There is no direction as to which way to go. You're right. The road needs to be painted. Mm-hmm. But somebody's got to tell someone how to paint it.
Yeah.
And, until that happens, there is kind of...
and that would come most likely from the mayor, the council,
and I keep
city
saying
engineer.
Public Safety Commissioner. I know our mayor is it, but I don't want to set precedents for future
Okay,
administration.
Public Safety Commissioner,
But yes,
Paul Mary
that is, and because certain things aren't legislated with the 4 lanes, or 3 lanes, we need to have that verbiage in our ordinance. So,
thank you.
Thank you. If anybody has questions, the studies are on my website, katieforutica.com.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Right now, Steve Ponte Mazda's move to Mazda sales event is back. 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on all new 2023 Mazdas. Check it out. As Ricky Z says, let's make your deal on a brand new Mazda. The Move to Mazda sales event right now at Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville, WIBX Utica, Rome. It's 9 o'clock.
He wants to be president until 2029. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America. And we still are.
President Biden in a video announcing he's running for re-election.
Personal freedom is fundamental to who we are as Americans. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
The Biden campaign is going to be run by White House official Julie Chavez Rodriguez and Raphael Warnock alum Quentin Fulks, and they've already emailed their list asking for donations at joebiden.com as the RNC hopes to counter with factcheckjoebiden.com. He is 80 years old, and he is betting that is not going to be an issue.
Fox's Peter Ducey. There are 2 other Democrats also running, Marianne Williamson and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but the president could be setting up a rematch next year with former President Trump, the Republican frontrunner who's got another legal issue in New York City. Jury selection starts today, and author E. Jean Carroll's lawsuit claiming Trump raped her decades ago and he defamed her, denying it.
Carroll was able to bring the charges because of a New York law she lobbied to pass, which created a 1-year window for sexual abuse victims to sue their attackers, no matter how long ago the incident happened. happened. The trial follows other legal trouble for the former president, including 34 felony charges in New York City, as well as investigations in Georgia and Washington, D.C.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. North Dakota now has one of the strictest abortion laws in the country, signed by the Republican governor, only allowing abortions before 6 weeks of pregnancy, only in cases of rape or incest or medical emergency. There are reports of fighting continuing in Sudan despite a 72-hour ceasefire warring generals agreed to as they battle for control of Sudan, brokered by Secretary of State Blinken.
To bring an end to the fighting and a return to the transition to a civilian government.
The U.S. has evacuated all diplomatic staff from the embassy. The government's in contact with dozens of American citizens still in Sudan who say they want to leave. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, you've heard me talk about Henry Repeating Arms and their incredible line of 200 rifles and shotguns. This company's owned by a family of true patriots who are so dedicated to our country that all of their products are made in America or they are not made at all. And they're also so loyal to their customers that they provide award-winning customer service. And by the way, they back their firearms with a lifetime warranty. Now, Henry makes a line of tribute edition rifles. You got to check these out. I love them. They honor the unsung heroes who serve our great nation, including active military, veterans, law enforcement, and sheriffs and firefighters and EMS, and so many more. Now, you can check them out for yourself. Go to their website, henryusa.com/tribute. And there's the Henry's Deluxe engraved limited edition rifles that are the crown jewels of any collection. Once an edition sells out, it's gone forever. Go to henryusa.com. You get a free catalog. You get free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and you're going to love these firearms.
Power Sports of Utica is holding its grand opening event on the 28th and 29th of April. We have over 350 vehicles in stock and incoming for you to see. Come celebrate with us at the store over great food, drink, and entertainment. We can't wait to see you there. It's our Power Sports of Utica grand opening, April 28th and 29th, with over 150 new and used Harley-Davidsons in our pool. 0% down, 3.99 APR on select Harleys. Grand opening discounts on boots, helmets, shirts, and apparel.
Curtis Lumber's Customer Appreciation Days are back. For 3 days only, May 4th through May 6th, Curtis Lumber will pay the sales tax on your purchase. Not sure what you need for your project? Buy a gift card and Curtis Lumber will load the sales tax amount onto the gift card as a bonus. For full details and in-store specials, visit curtislumber.com/customer appreciation. Don't miss tax-free savings days, May 4th through the 6th at Curtis Lumber.
It's the biggest savings of the year for your pool and spa chemicals. It's Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas annual chemical sale. We make it easy. Go to tuckerbackyard.com or stop by our new location and save 15%. Yes, the new location is open at 8086 Seneca Turnpike. Our new and much larger facility gives us the ability to serve you better. Come visit us now till the end of April during our annual chemical sale with 15% off all chemicals in stock. Or shop us online at tuckerbackyard.com. Considering a new pool from above ground to in-ground and fiberglass pools. Come see our pools and spas on full display at our new location, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, Clinton, 1 mile west of the Big Apple Plaza, online at tuckerbackyard.com. And save the date for Saturday, May 6th for our grand opening from noon to 3 p.m., featuring free food, big prize giveaways, games, tours, and our factory reps on hand to answer any questions. It's the biggest savings of the year. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas annual chemical sale at 8086 Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
Are you ready to make the most important decision for your child's future? Some are easy, some are not. Some make all the difference, like choosing Notre Dame schools. Offering grades pre-K through 12, your child will be ready to learn and thrive in a challenging atmosphere surrounded by great teachers and the most current technology. Notre Dame offers small class sizes, high academic standards, and spiritual fulfillment. At Notre Dame, we foster an environment of diversity and community. Students feel supported and more confident in achieving their goals. Our students learn from each other and are challenged to grow and develop their innate talents. Notre Dame is faith-based, but everyone is welcome. If you have higher expectations for your child, Notre Dame offers a higher level experience. If you're ready to launch your child's future into the most successful career path and build the next generation of leaders, call today for a tour or visit NotreDameUtica.org. Notre Dame schools ready to learn, destined to lead.
to kill it. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can we kill that door? I know. You get sepsis, they'll take your whole hand. I'm telling you. Yeah. Okay. Timer. There's still people out there. All right, here we go. So Jimmy Fallon, I don't even freaking. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can get this in. I'm gonna wing it. We'll make it. What do you want? Like a 30 or? Okay. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. First news with Keeler in the morning and WIBX present the Laughs and Liberty Tour with Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy, the stepchildren of Fox News. November 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Stanley Theater. Tickets go on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.com or call the Stanley box office at 315-724-4000. Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy, November 11th. Tickets on sale this Friday from WIBX 950. Brilliant. It's an exact 30. I think it is. You might have to take out a breath. Brilliant. All right. We can